problem is you can't write a story that ends it.
Yeah,
Because and that's the problem with things like Star Wars. Like you
Yeah.
can't finish it.
Or would you water it down, right? Like how they did with X-Men, right? Back in the early 2000s, like they wanted to market Wolverine to kids, and they're like, oh, fucking.
But the difference between Star Wars and X-Men is just stories of individual people, right? So that never ends. Because you're always gonna have a new story or whatever. Star Wars is different. Star Wars is a battle between rebels and the dark side, right?
Yeah.
A war gotta end.
Yeah.
It's gotta. Somebody gotta win at some point. Like you just can't keep going forever. Like it's gotta. Someone has to be the president. The problem is it's literally
Spiritual battle.
it's literally in the name. Well, war's end, right? But the problem is the rebels are popular. So how do you take a concept that's supposed to end, but you can't have it? You gotta create all these bullshit stories, and it's kind of like Terminator, right? Terminator had to win. Everybody really wants to see the ending. Everybody wants to see the judgment they war and finally win, but they can't do that. So they keep going back in the past over
Keep going.
and over. Like what the fuck?
Or like fucking Fast and the Furious. But these motherfuckers with this thing.
Fuck. And what's gonna happen? They're gonna write it down at the next point. Because, like, at certain things, that's like for Star Wars, man. Star Wars, you gotta end. But they don't want it to end. So you have to deal with these shitty concept stories and stuff like that. I think they did.
Ready to go? All right. Yeah, I got I'm listening.
On my laptop.
Somebody's about to get us.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the INSOMNIACS Podcast. We got a great show for you tonight. We got two all-star guests, friends of the show. Without any interruption, we got returning guest Puertorock77. What's good?
Yo, what's up, my friends, my fellow cameras? The only friend is YouTube streets. Puertorock77, man. Glad to be here, man. Thank you for the invite. We're going to get this cracking.
Let's get it. Yatusa. We got to bring our Latinos back in here. Latinos in gaming. Latinos at Xbox. All that fun stuff. Next up, we got Jaydub, the mythical Sony, I don't even know, ambassador. What else do you go by?
The antagonizer in chief. That's what I go by.
Okay. I like that.
I like that.
You already know. We got Jaydub
What's
in the
good,
building.
everybody? What's good? Thanks for the invite, man. It's always great chopping it up with you. It's going to be a great show. Everybody on the panel. Let's get it.
Let's get it. And Jaydub, I just have to say, man, I've been trying to get you on the show for a long time. So got you on here finally.
So, man. Oh yeah, my lawyer talked with your lawyer. We made it work, brother. We made it work.
Next up, we got C-Dolla, the PC elitist in chief over here. What's up, C-Dolla?
Yeah, what's good? I'm not the PC elitist. I'm the PC. I game on it.
Yeah, real subtle. Real humble with the 3090 flex. Next up, last but not least, I gotta save the best for last. CoolHandCruz. What up, baby?
What's going on, baby? I'm back. I'm here. And we ready to get this shit cracking, man. What we talking about? State of play, right?
We talking about state of play. We talking about Switch. We talking about we got some hot topics on here.
That's like a whole 5 minutes right there.
Yeah,
I'm playing.
Yo,
What's
I
up?
was so disappointed.
Oh, we gonna get into it. So how I have it set up right now is I got gameplay of all the games, and we're gonna kind of go through a lot of these indies. If we got something to say about it, we'll talk about it. If we're kind of like past, then we'll just kind of move on. So starting off, let's start with Arcade Geddon.
I thought you were about to say R. Kelly.
Nah. Nah. But let's talk about this game. What y'all think? This immediately remind me of what's that racing game that Cool Hand that you swore was amazing that wasn't that great?
Oh man.
Yeah.
We talking about Destruction All Stars?
Yeah.
Oh,
This look
God.
this
Oh,
art
man.
style right here looks like Destruction Art All Stars, but
But this seems like Destruction All Stars, Fall
with
Guys,
Fortnite.
had a baby.
Exactly. So starting
the
off
same
with,
thing we said about Destruction All Stars.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So starting with you, J-Dub, what'd you think about this game? Does something look semi interesting to you?
Yeah. I was actually just reading about it right before the show to see if I was interested. The early access beta, not even a beta, it's just an early access starts
Yep.
today. So I'm gonna download it, try it out. Let's see what it is. One thing I want to note, right?
Yep.
Art style looks good. I'm perfectly fine with that. I hope a lot of people get into it because with games like this, you have to have an install base. You have to have people that
Facts.
are going to continuously keep this thing going. And maybe that's just the downside of having multiplayer games like this. You have to have consistent outlook. You have to have
Facts.
the vibe there. If not, you're going to get like in some recent games, they just started adding AI in there just to fill in the servers and stuff like
Yep.
that. So, but the good side about this is Sony is coming out of their shell and they're trying something new, which they got a ton of flack from, I think, both sides of the aisle, from the Xbox community and the PlayStation community, with not offering a vast array of multiplayer type games. Yeah, they have PlayStation has multiplayer games, Ghost of Tsushima, Gran Turismo, yada yada yada. But a lot of people, want to see more, and they've been trying. Whether it's Predator, whether it's Destruction All Stars, or this game, they're trying, right? Some stuff is going to
Definitely.
hit, some stuff won't, but they're at it. It's not like they're just again, they get criticized for having a bunch of one and dones, single player over the top
Mhm.
style game, and they're branching out. So I'm encouraged from that.
Well, just to kind of add on to that, and Sony's multiplayer games are definitely different. They're not all just your average first person shooter.
Yes.
While people like to complain about third person action adventure RPGs, Sony's definitely switching it up. Like you
Yeah.
said, all the games you mentioned, they're all vastly different how you play them.
Yes.
They
Yes.
need
So-
to expand more in that space. You know what I mean? We're
Mhm.
still waiting on Sony's definitive multiplayer game. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a big piece that's still missing from Sony to this
Well,
day.
well, they have a definitive multiplayer game. I guess I'm not sure if you mean like shooters, because I think that's what most people mean.
I'm talking
Because
about
Gran
yeah,
Turismo is their,
Yeah,
by
I'm
far
saying-
their biggest. Yeah.
yeah, I'll say in terms of a shooter, right? And what
Yeah.
and what the mainstream would consider,
Yeah.
a multiplayer game. You know what I mean? Like
That's
game
really
mode
what people
here.
look for. Well, we want to soak them,
Facts.
or we want to bring Killzone back, or resistance, right? Everyone
Ooh.
always throws that out there. Stuff like that. It's a shooter, and let's just face it, Sony doesn't have that defining shooter, and the shooter.
And they need it.
I think they need it. I think they
They
need it.
need.
The only
Yeah.
downside, I see from them trying is there's so many other shooters out there that just perfects it. It's going to be hard to compete with those guys. It's going to be hard to compete with a Call
Now
of
is
Duty.
this what I
or,
want to know is this
you know.
game an exclusive for Sony?
I think it is. I think it is, or it may. And
It might be
I'll
a time
honest,
exclusive.
I hope it's on PC as well, because you need a large install base.
Facts.
Well, I
You
will
need a
say,
large
like,
install base.
These games, even though they're, they look, very quirky, and I hate using that word, but very quirky, very like
At Fortnite.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's interesting enough for like me to want to be like, I'll check it out, right? I can't. I have to at least try it before I come up to a decision where either I hate it or I like it, right? You got to try it at least. So I'm definitely gonna check it out. It doesn't look like it'll be my kind of game, or it might be. I never know.
Yeah.
Word.
Well, it goes back to what I said. They're branching out of their norm, and they're trying something different. So we I can't get mad at them for trying something different, and I'll try it and see it if I like
Yo,
it. I
yo,
like
yo.
It, you know, yeah.
That's what's cool about Sony though. You know, they actually they go left field sometimes, and sometimes left field is good, sometimes left field isn't. But the fact that they go left instead of always going right, the fact that you try and not is a big difference between creativity and stagnant.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what Puertorock thinks about this, man. Is this something that you're gonna try out? Early access. You can play it right now. What do you think?
$20.
I'm gonna tell you the issue with this game.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I get the whole, Sony's trying something different, but the problem is it looks like a Fortnite clone.
It does look a lot like Fortnite.
Like I'm looking back and I'm looking at it, right? If you just blink real quick, you could swear this is Fortnite. Like there's nothing original about it or original looking. Maybe when you play it, right, and you might see maybe some uniqueness to it, but it just looks like somebody's trying to recreate their own version of Fortnite and trying to, it looks like a copy paste type game, right? And so I'm looking at it, and I'm sure like it is, you can play for free or whatever. But the problem is, this reminds me of Killzone 3. And I'm gonna tell you why. When Killzone 2 came out, it was probably one of their best multiplayer and shooter experiences, right? At the time. Sure, it didn't sell 10 million or 20 million, right? But it had all positive reviews, and anybody who was playing it, it was pretty much a positive experience, right? Especially how they did the multiplayer. When you played it, you would go from one mode directly into another, so you didn't have, so it was minimized lobbies or whatever. So it was its own unique experience, right? A lot of the people that did complain about it was like the Call of Duty players. Oh, the characters feel weighty. Oh, it takes forever to kill a guy. So you had to focus more on teamwork, and your team had to as a team, fight and kill somebody, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the Call of Duty players and a lot of people play Call of Duty, or even some of the Halo players, they said, oh, the characters are slow, the controllers are sluggish, it's not responsive. And I'm like, but that's the unique thing about Killzone 2. It's supposed to be, these guys aren't supposed to be running across the map, double jumping and sniping somebody in the air. That's not what this game is about. These are actual just low-level grunts, just putting in that work as a team, right? Yeah. But obviously, Guerrilla and Sony listen to the Call of Duty guys because, that's the games that's selling 10 million, 20 million. Those are the highest, most played games. So Sony listened to them. And they made Killzone 3 more like Call of Duty. And what ended up happening is like, this plays like Call of Duty and it sucks, so I better just play Call of Duty.
It's a catch-22, man. It's a catch-22.
And that's the true statement. If your game's like Call of Duty, I'm just gonna play Call of Duty. Like you gotta be unique. You got what makes this game arcade gated. And it looks more like Fortnite. And I think when people play it, they're gonna be like, for that, I'll just play Fortnite than this shit.
It looks like Splatoon. It plays like Fortnite.
It looks like a hybrid between Splatoon, that new dodgeball game.
Knockout King. Knockout. You see,
Knockout Champs. Yeah.
That's what it is.
And what makes it even worse, Fortnite's free and it's super popular, and that's hard to compete, right? Do you have to buy this game, or is this free to play?
It's early access.
It's early access, so it's $20. But this game eventually is probably going to be in PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, but that's even worse.
This game should be a free to play, like when Destruction.
A game that looks like a free to play for $20.
Wait, hold on. Keep in mind, Fortnite wasn't free when it came out, right?
No, but it wasn't a battle royale mode though. It was a totally different game.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing:
just to kind of make apples to apples.
Yeah. But I think at this point, because of games like Fortnite, because of Call of Duty Warzone, the game's changed. I never thought there would ever be a day that Halo would be a free to play game.
Me neither.
Halo. We're talking about Halo multiplayer. At one point it was the creme de la creme, right?
Yeah.
It's free to play, but I don't blame them. It is hard to pay like me. Like I'll be honest, if Sony makes SOCOM, I'm gonna be honest. If they release SOCOM for $70, that game's gonna get ripped apart. It's gonna be a hard sell to sell SOCOM when you got Call of Duty Warzone for free. And it does all the stuff Call of Duty. I'm interested to see if Sony one day does SOCOM and how they're going to handle that. In my opinion, they need to make the multiplayer free to play. I don't think it's just the landscape.
That's
No,
listen,
I
but
agree with you because that's where fucking Destruction All Stars messed up, right?
yeah,
there was no campaign behind it, and they wanted you to pay initially. Remember when it came out, it was part
yeah, it
of
was
the
a
initial
full price
release.
title, yeah.
It was a full price
And then they
title,
gave it to you for free.
exactly.
But
And
listen, what happened? They gave it to you for free, and then nobody really played it. And so it,
no, people played it, but there was a limitation on what you could do with it. You know what I mean? There wasn't you couldn't play. I couldn't play against you. Like if you and me were in a private party, we couldn't play against each other. We had to play in a party the whole time.
yeah,
There was only 3 modes. The 3 modes they
yeah,
got
yeah,
boring
yeah.
after like 2 times playing it. You know what I mean? Like 3, it wasn't.
That's listen. I hate to say it, but that business model, that Fortnite model, that Call of Duty
Doesn't work
Warzone
for everything.
model. It doesn't work for everything, and it's very niche as
But
to
if you
what
do,
catches
but I'm
on
saying,
and
but
what
if you
doesn't.
do it,
That's
but
true.
if you do it, you got to come correct. Like that game had the chance to become like a very Twisted Metal
They
esque.
should have added guns. I've always said that they should just
But
added
there
guns
is a
in there.
game.
They
There
should've.
is a game like that out right now. You know what I mean? What the fuck is it called? It's a free to play game. Wow. Why am I spacing on it?
$, you have any last thoughts about this game before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Puertorock here. Like
Cross out.
$20 for a free to play game, like that's a hard sell.
But
And
cross out.
and it's not to insult the developer. I'm sure they're working hard, but the problem is the industry with games like Warframe, free to play. And if you play that game, like, oh my god, bro, like how the hell is that game free to play?
Yeah.
Like, yo, these dudes went all out. That's like a big blockbuster AAA. It's like an RPG now. I mean, they did so much to that game, and it's free to play, right?
It does
Yeah,
Destiny better than
game.
Destiny.
That was a
Yo,
launch
it's
game.
crazy.
That was a launch game for the PS4.
Facts.
And,
Yep.
and it's crazy how much they put into that game as a free to play, right? Then you got Apex Legends, and you got Call of Duty Warzone. Then of course you got Fortnite,
Valorant, and the rest of them.
Yeah, these type of games change the economy of the industry because now people are going to be like, wait a minute, some of the best, most played, and AAA level games are free to play. Why am I paying $20 for this?
Yeah.
I understand developers got paid and eat, but I think the industry, the developers, they got to look at the type of games they're creating and adopt that type of economy because it's going to be a hard sell to sell, straight up retail sell certain games in the new world we live in. This is not the, early 2006, 2007 360 era or, now these free to plays, they not only make great games, even AAA level games, and are successful at it, right?
Yep.
The industry got to be careful the type of games, and that's why I'm interested to see how Sony does this SOCOM stuff, because that's going to be like, oh, $70 for SOCOM, and I can play Call of Duty Warzone for free. I'm gonna be like, yo, it's like,
but
I have no issue with the $70 price hike, but that's a true statement. Like, this is going to be different.
The caveat, you get the cool multiplayer, and then you get the campaign as well. So I mean, I'm curious to see if they'll have if they do come out with a SOCOM, or honestly, I want more Resistance than SOCOM, mainly because I think Resistance is a more unique game that you can do maybe a little more with because of how it's set in like a weird sci-fi setting. And it's mixed with like, the very historical, World War II aspects that people really love. So I like that whole mix of like realism and fiction, all into one. But how, to do something innovative with the multiplayer is very hard to do nowadays. And, a lot of it is dredged up as the same thing.
Everyone does the same thing.
Elements. Yeah, I mean, it's either capture the flag, domination. It's not even capture the flag anymore. It's either fucking domination or hard points and things like that. Like most multiplayer games copy that kind of mode.
With that, I wanna move on to the next game here. We got Tribes of Midgar. This was the second game they showed. This game, not my type of game. Just initial reaction from what I'm seeing. It reminds me of a mobile game, but hey, there's a lot of people who like this game. I know that this game is multiplayer, and it has different modes that you can play with friends and stuff. So I think there might even be a PvP, or not exactly PvP, where somewhere you can fight other players. What did y'all think of this? And I want to start off with $, because I know you play a bunch of different genres of games, and honestly, when I was watching this, I was like, this might be something that you may like based on like the fact that it takes place in like Nordic mythology, and you have like all these things that you'd see from like God of War, for example. You're sent out by Odin to kind of start your quest. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, all that does sound cool, but like, I'm not a big fan of like this top-down view type of games. It's like a little too old school for me, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
the
the
What about
comments
the
for
animation
this,
style?
the comments for
like-
this, everyone was saying skip during the live stream.
What about the animation style for you, Dollar Sign?
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really hit for me.
It don't do nothing. This
Yeah.
reminds me of like
It's kind of
Marvel
like a wait
Ultimate
and see,
Alliance
yeah.
or some shit.
Like, if it
this
has good reviews, like I'll definitely pick it up. But
I
it's
just don't want
definitely a wait and see.
I just don't want to see a trend of like these very cartoony like multiplayers. Like,
Hey,
these
but
very-
there's a market
I'm-
for this for somebody.
yeah, I
you know?
get the market.
listen,
Don't get me wrong. I'm
PC.
with
This
the
stuff
market.
is PC
Facts.
is riddled with games like this that does amazing, and maybe coming as mainly console gamers, maybe maybe we're not the market, or maybe I don't know, but I'm day one on this game.
You're day one on this one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm day one on it. Yeah, I've had my eyes on this games ever since they showed it at the PlayStation 5. Not the reveal, but the event where they showed the
The
games.
showcase.
This and Jet, yeah, had me interested. I try, I try a ton of different.
Is there a background to the
genres.
story that we know so far?
I mean, it's
Not that
takes
I know
takes
of.
place in the Nordic universe.
Yeah, it's Midgard,
Mid-
right? So
Midgard,
it's
yeah.
North mythology, yeah.
I think it's like during Ragnarok, and Odin like revived you to be like one of his warriors to
Yep.
Mhm.
fight against Ragnarok.
Puertorock.
Yeah.
Is this a game you're gonna be playing with Jaydub?
Yeah,
Online?
so I heard about it before, but I didn't look much into it. But after watching State of Play and I actually saw the gameplay of it, I kind of like these games. I mean, y'all ain't played Diablo? I know Diablo is
Yeah.
a more AAA level title, but
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
look at the view, it's similar.
Yeah.
To that view, depending
is.
on how you, because I know in Diablo you can zoom in closer and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But for the
yeah.
most part, if you play Diablo, it's almost the same
Kind of like that stuff, yeah.
same isometric, view and fighting style, right?
Like just I'm not a fan of the animation. That's
Yeah.
probably the only gripe with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've never been a fan of these kind of like these color tones. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like if that makes sense, or these
I
textures.
see. So it's really the
Cell shaded.
the
Aesthetics.
the,
just
the,
a-
arte- the aesthetic, the artistic
Yeah.
style. You
Yeah,
want a more
yeah, yeah.
realistic, yeah.
Not even more realistic. I just want like if I'm gonna play a game like this set in that kind of Nordic setting, I need it to be a little more rugged. Like I want the villains to look a little more menacing. They don't have to look hyper realistic. Like you can still make it look cartoony, but make it look menacing. You know, what I'm
God of
saying?
War
Like,
ruined it for you, basically, is what you're trying to say.
No, not at all.
you know.
All right.
But yeah, I like the gameplay. I like and plus I like more melee games. So
yeah.
anytime I see a melee game, I try to give it a chance because in the world of shooters,
Exactly.
so I kind of like this. So I'm gonna give it
Okay.
a try. Once I saw it, I was impressed with it.
Well-
It better not be $70 though.
Yeah.
What about
No,
like,
it's
oh,
a $20-$25 game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
cool. That's
we-
perfect.
well, listen,
sounds like this is cool.
We have to
This is cool.
start taking stuff into context of
Yeah.
everything, because everyone right now, I guess the big hot topic is $70. So there's like
Mhm.
any game that's on PlayStation is going to be $70.
Yeah.
we all know that
Facts.
that's not
Yeah,
true, right?
that's not
But-
true. No.
No,
Yeah, we know that's not true, but
It's good console war. It's good console war ammunition.
it's good. It's good ammunition.
Every single game is $70. Every
Yeah.
single
But-
one.
But Nova, what do you think about this?
What do I think about it? I mean, I kind of have my thoughts on it. It's not usually the type of games I play, but like I said, I do see where there could be a market for this, or there is a market for this. I'm not where there could be. Yeah, not really my cup of tea. But then again, I'm always open to see if it's a fun multiplayer game, because y'all know me. I play a lot of single player games, right? For me to pick up that one trash game that we will not talk about it, but I'll say the name one time.
Outrider?
Oh my god, that game. Anyways,
You hate it.
I hated that game so bad. I tried to return it within the first 2 hours of playing it while on stream, and Sony was faking.
Outriders that bad?
I did not enjoy it, man. I couldn't stand it. But on the contrast, just going to my point, Destiny is a game I tried out. Like Destiny 1, y'all know how big I was on Destiny. Like I was playing that game like crazy amounts. I was helping out people do
Destiny was
raids.
crack.
Yeah, Destiny was crack for me.
Yeah.
But so yeah, for me, multiplayer games, I'm very, very choosy. But if I find something I like and it drags me in, then I'll give it a shot. So it sounds like we're kind of on the edge. You know, some of us like it, some of us are kind of about it. But Puertorock, from what you were saying with melee games, I do want to move on to the next game we have called, you know, that y'all all know about, Sifu. Would y'all think about this gameplay we saw today?
Hell yeah.
That shit
Okay,
looked
day
crazy.
That looks so good.
Day
Fire,
one.
man.
What?
Day
It's
fire.
one.
Day one. Yeah.
If y'all know me, man, y'all know I love kung fu
Fire.
movies. I'm talking
Yes.
about Shaw Brothers, Five Deadly Venoms, Crippled Avengers, and I feel every one of those movies in this game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like off some
Yeah.
36 chambers. You know what I mean? Just this is so good. I already know this game is gonna be a banger. I love the kung fu animations. I love the effects of when you get hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it looks like the fluid motion of counters is going to be really cool to see in this
Yes.
game. You know what I mean? Like the counter system for this game, or the parry system, looks amazing. I just love the fact that we're going to be able to get multiple variations of combat due to his unique kung fu style. Like you're going to be able to probably use the environment from what I'm looking at in the gameplay,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
what do y'all-
fact that you age every time you die makes me think there's like a permadeath mechanic to this game, which I would really like. You know, like
If you read the blog, and then I got kind of updated, I was kind of figure out exactly how that is. I read the updated blog after the show, and after you die, you age a little bit, and eventually you get to a point where you're gonna have to restart because it's basically, I mean, you're
get too old.
Yeah, you get too old. But I thought that was a cool concept, right? It really is a cool concept, and I do like that they're trying something different. But this game is make or break because of the animation and how fluid it is, and it looks freaking amazing. It looks fluid. I know some people, I don't really like that art style. You know, some people are just fickle for art styles.
Yeah.
But if you can get those
Cool.
animations at 60 frames steady, and I'm able to pull off these, Jet Li style moves that just go in sync and it's fluid. Oh man, I can see me spending hours and hours.
Do you know what's crazy? When you mentioned the art styles, right? This was on the edge. No. This was on the edge for me at first, right? When they first showed, like when they first announced this game, right, on the reveal, and I saw that, and I was like, that's not. I don't think this is gonna
That
be
was
for me.
pre-alpha. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they showed gameplay, and I was like, oh shit, this is. Fuck that. I'm all in on this. This looks amazing. And then as they're showing you more, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm in a Shaw Brothers film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in that Jet Li hero movie. You know what I mean?
Something
like,
that I'm curious about is with the aging mechanic. I wonder if there's something where, like, when you're younger, let's say you're stronger, but you're not as talented, you have access to less moves versus
mature. Yes.
I wonder if there's something.
That's
Oh yeah, what'd you find out?
Like your movement is hindered as the older you get.
The older you get, the more moves you're gonna learn because you have the wisdom and the different styles you can choose.
That's fucking
so
dope.
all that stuff unlocks with age, right? When you start off, you're younger.
Your movements get hindered though, like because of age. I can't move as fluid.
They didn't say that. They didn't say that specifically, but based on a couple of paragraphs that I read, because they were kind of asked those questions or whatever. But I thought that would be cool. Maybe when you're younger, you're quicker.
Yep.
But maybe you don't punch as hard, and maybe you make mistakes. And the older you get, you slow down more, but you're more mature, and you don't have to move as fast because you're crafting your defense and offense and stuff. So that's why this game here has me enamored. This is a day one buy for me. I hope they're able to pull it off, and the quality creeps up on it. The best thing about this, I like how they rolled it out. They started out with just a little small teaser trailer, and then they've been posting on Twitter pretty much, a couple of times a month, these little 10-second clips of combat, right? And then just over time, you can see the art style get better. You can see the growth of the graphics and everything. And so what we're looking at now on the screen The art style is together, the graphics is together, the animation is together. It really just came together in a nice package.
And honestly, that's how you should roll out a game like this. You know what I mean? A
Yeah,
brand new
yeah.
IP. You know, you give us crumbs and then slowly feed. You know, slow feed
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, that's
Puerto
what
Rock.
it's good too. You know, because like the developers, they just want to like keep showing you gameplays. Like, look at this gameplay. Look at this. Look at this. This shit's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puerto Rock, what do you think about this game? I haven't heard your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to have an idea of how the game might progress from, these are the same developers that did Absolver.
Zarver.
Yeah, so you could tell that's in their DNA, having that kung fu martial arts style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They used to work for Ubisoft and they left, so they decided to create their own studio. Absolver was published by Devolver Digital. This game they're publishing themselves, so they're growing, right? So
Yeah.
so like right now, because as small studios, the most expensive part of gaming is obviously if they're going for the graphics, for the AAA graphics, the ray tracing. You know, it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years to develop, and all that time they have to pay 200 people. So obviously, you know, graphic wise, it's within the realm of what we see with most indies. But gameplay wise and animation wise, it's almost AAA level. When you look how smooth and it just looks smooth. And I could just imagine how you're playing. And just like as Jaydub says, you get this game at 60 frames, you're gonna have a nice, smooth gameplay experience.
I actually don't think it'll be hard to get this game at 60 frames. And you know, it's the one that we haven't talked about for this game, the haptic feedback that's going to come with this game.
Oh
Facts.
yeah.
I mean, like imagine playing that shit on the PS5 controller. That shit makes it feel amazing.
Yep. Feeling the cracks of the fist and the kicks and everything. Yeah.
Well, imagine like cracking through a board or a wall or something, right? Like you feel that.
Yeah.
That's
with the noises and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so after Absolver and now they're doing this, it seems like that's the type of games, you know, and it's not like we have a lot of studios doing that. We barely have any studios doing this type of martial arts type games anymore. I remember back in the days we used to have like Jet Li games and Bruce Lee games almost all the time. Now we barely get any kung fu centric games at all, you know,
I mean,
at all.
I will say
not even fighting games. We don't even get a bunch of fighting games.
You know, so I remember, so I remember those days. So now it seems like the studio's trying to pick up the mantle and be that studio, you know. And if we like these kung fu type games and stuff like that, what starts out as an indie game today, they could eventually lead up to a big AAA kung fu, you know, thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'll go as far as to say this is probably a AAA game, in my opinion. Just the mechanics alone, I feel like these combat mechanics seem super complicated. You know what I mean? Why we're getting kind of like this really unique animation style for a game like this.
I would definitely classify it as an indie, but from the lens of that, is it going too far to say that this game is arguably the most hyped indie that PlayStation has on their plate right now? What do y'all think?
I wouldn't.
I think it's kind of.
I wouldn't see that. Kenna would definitely.
Well, Kenna takes.
I'll say with the amount of gameplay that we've seen, like we've seen more from Sifu than we have from Kenna. So
you're right.
In my opinion, I'll say Sifu as far as overtaking hype.
The chat went crazy when they were showing this game. Everyone was like, "Oh shit!"
Kenna comes out next month.
And I think the thing with Kana is the graphics, man, because that game looks gorgeous. Like, holy shit, it looks so good.
Yeah, it looks like a Pixar movie.
I'm like, man, that game looks gorgeous.
I'm surprised we didn't see it today.
Sifu game, it's straight kung fu, man. Like I said, we don't have any kung fu games, like none. Like this doesn't that genre or that type of game that used to be dominant. That we used to get like games like that all the time.
Yeah,
it's just not. You don't see it as much anymore.
Well, I'll tell you this. When they first showed Kana, like my enthusiasm was through the roof. Like I couldn't wait. But then just over time, once I got my hand on Ratchet and Clank, it really took a big dive because I'm like, they got a big high bar, you know, because it was all about the graphics, right? The visuals.
But let's be honest here. Have you thought about Kenna since you know Return?
Nah.
But you've been thinking about Sifu, right? You've been thinking about Sifu, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, because there's nothing like that. You're right.
There's nothing.
So I'm saying, so when it comes to hype, I think Sifu's overtaking Kenna by hype. Kenna literally comes out next month on the 23rd. It comes out next month. I haven't seen anything. I've only seen the trailer. I'm still hyped about it. It's still a day one purchase for me. But if we're talking about excitement, if we're talking about innovation, if we're talking about, oh my God, my jaw dropped when I saw this, it's Sifu.
Yeah, I do want to address the chat.
I don't know.
That's
I
all.
think that might be a little recency bias because
Okay.
I was like that when I saw the gameplay trailer for Kenna like last month because they did do an extended trailer
Yeah,
last month.
it was a 10-minute trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Okay.
Chris Paul in the chat for that. No, go ahead, dollar sign.
I mean that's my only point. Like I think we just saw this today, so like it's real fresh. But maybe I don't know. At least for me, I'm more hyped for Kenna.
Fair enough.
But I'm also very hyped for this game.
I do want to move on to this game called Fist. This game, it was a game that initially when I was first looking, I was like, another game that I'm probably not interested in. And the more I saw of it, the more interested I got. And the fact that you play as these rugged looking animals, I was kind of like, wait, what is this? But the game looks pretty dope. The world looks pretty dope. I like 2D platformers. I'm trying to think of the game that was one of my favorites, Strider.
Strider.
Right? Yeah. So when I see a game like this, obviously it's different, but it gives me those Strider vibes, and I love it. What'd y'all think about this? I want to hear
Games
from.
like this-
Good.
Go ahead. No, I
Anyone
was saying,
anyone
games
chime in?
Games like this, I see these characters. It reminds me of Jack and Daxter, or a Sly Cooper. Not in so much the open world concept. Obviously this is a platformer, but just these these character models and things like that. It gives me those feels.
Okay.
I love games that are different, and there's not a lot of games like this out on the market, at the moment. So this is a day one buy for me. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like to
I
get
agree.
locked up with a bunch of open world games or a bunch of shooters. I like the variety. This is why the Midgard game and Sifu and this game. This is why I like this. This is that variety that breaks up a lot of the gameplay or games that I normally play. And so yeah, it looks interesting. And the graphics, again, it's not cartoony. It's a different art style. So hopefully it turns out well. We don't know how these games are going to raid. We don't know how the gameplay is actually going to be. And will gamers accept it, or will they just wait
Yeah.
for Game Pass or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I want to know when I see games like this. I want to know more about the story behind it. What story am I walking into? What's the narrative being driven here?
Yeah. I mean, I got a question for Puertorock specifically. So in terms of games,
I'm gonna say up front, this
Oh.
is a pass for me.
okay, I was gonna say
Right or left?
this are grounded.
Yeah.
Ooh, what?
This are grounded. You both
Oh.
you're playing with animals. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Oh. Fuck, man, I'll quit gaming. If it came down to these two games, I'd be like, you know what? I guess I'll just stick to YouTube at this point. I'll be like, oh shit. Yeah, it's just for me, 2D side-scrolling games. It's gonna take a really, really unique game for me to get back to playing 2D side-scrolls. I just don't enjoy those type of games anymore. I mean, back in the days, those games used to be AAA, but now I don't really care to play. That's why I really didn't care about playing Ori.
Yeah.
I just don't really care about that. 2D side scrollers. If they made a new Castlevania game and it was a 2D side scroll, I'm gonna be like, oh, I ain't playing it.
So
I don't know. I just moved on from that.
Porter, I have a question. Do you own a Switch?
Nope.
No. Okay, I was about to say. So you're not gonna try out the new Metroid? That was gonna be
No,
my next.
I'll be honest. I looked at the new Metroid. I'm like, it does not inform me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Metroid Prime.
I was doing yes. I was waiting for Metroid Prime 4.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I know, and a lot of portable devices are still with the 2D, which makes sense. I'm just not into that no more. I'm just not into 2D side scrollers no more. It's just now it's more about it has to be a really interesting game for me to get back into the 2D stuff.
Glenn's in the chat
I'm just
said-
not interested.
Glenn's in the chat said that almost looks like a 2D Biomutant. It kind of does.
Yeah,
it kind of does.
I'm just not interested in 2D. So when I see a 2D side-scrolling game, I just be like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, it's rare for me to catch up to really catch my eye. It has to be something extremely. I think the one last time I played a 2D side scroller was Hidden Dragon. I think it's called, or Hidden Legend. It was a PS4 arcade game. I think it's Hidden Legend or Hidden Dragon, right? I think that was the last 2D side scroller I played.
Okay. Dollar sign. What are your thoughts on this, man? I know you like your 2D side scrollers.
I mean, I'm a wait and see on this one. But I like the environments remind me a lot of Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the slums, the Mako Towers,
the sewers and shit.
The sewers, yeah. I got a lot of Final Fantasy VII vibes from this, just like from the environments.
Yeah.
But this I have to see, like, if it has good reviews like Strider did, then I'll check it out. But
yeah,
for a game like this, I have to see what others think.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I again, these games never did nothing for me, but then I played Strider on PS4 and I was like, holy shit, I'm missing out. So again, it's very rare, but yeah, we'll wait to see what the reviews are like and how the reception is. Moving on to this game we got called Jet. I really didn't understand this game.
One of my most anticipated games.
Okay. Oh, then we'll start off with you, Jaydub. What interests you about this game?
When they first showed the trailer, that was during the PlayStation 5. Wasn't the reveal, but like the
game showcase.
That event,
a
game showcase. Again, it was a different type of game, all about space. I was all about it. So reading up about it, basically, some people are not stranded, but pretty much they have to branch out and go to other places, try to find civilization and stuff like that. And so, it just looked interesting, and I didn't, I'm glad they showed more today. But this game was supposed to came out last year, like at launch. It got delayed to 2021. So, I kind of this game been on my radar along with Little Devil Inside, and I'm kind of disappointed that game didn't show up. But
can you get
it looks interesting.
Can you get out of your ship at like almost any point?
See, that's the thing about it. They never say. I need to read the blog. I need to go and see if they left a blog, but they didn't really say.
Because if you can, that may be something really interesting. Because
the Jet, oh yeah,
if you can get out,
yeah, Jet gets a punt in the stands. Like, get this shit out of here.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man. Because it's like, what, you flying around? Like, the one gameplay I hate in games, and this is just me, is things like flying just flying to fly or driving. That's why I don't like car games. To me, it's like filler gameplay, right? So like this game, like you're in a jet, and what are you doing? Like, I see them flying. I'm like, okay. I see them like going through some plant hoop, and I'm like, well, what do you do? Like, it's not for me, man. Like these type of discovery games and stuff like that, it's just not for me.
It is niche, right? It is niche, but that fits my gaming style, right? That's I play all kind of crazy shit that you guys probably don't see. But
you know about Mr. Mosquito?
Nah. Never heard of Mr. Mosquito.
Okay. Don't start that shit again.
Right. It's a very quirky game, as CoolHand likes to say.
On PC?
It's a PS2 game.
Oh, it's a PS.
Okay.
But it's very Weibo weird, but it's interesting. Yeah, look up Mr. Mosquito. That's a deep cut video.
Okay.
I know about that game.
And just for disclosure, I'm one of the people that love No Man's Sky. So hey,
I still haven't played.
No Man's Sky is totally different now.
Yeah, totally different game.
And then with the VR, man, I feel like going back to that.
Yeah.
When it first launched, it was like, oh boy, this is bad.
I might have to check that out.
They did so much to that game now. I think it's crazy different now. It's a totally different game than what launched.
Yeah.
Jaydub, question: have you played PS4 Dreams?
Yes.
I think that's one of the most slept-on games.
I was day one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It is. It needs to. I've said it day one. It needs to be on PC because there's something there. It's a huge platform. Can you imagine when PC dudes that be modding games, when they get their hands on it, the shit that they can create in there? Like, that's gonna be
a whole
amazing.
game engine. Yeah, people.
I saw. I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter, but some dude made Ratchet and Clank inside of
Yes,
Dreams. I
I
mean,
saw
I
that.
saw that.
even
Insane.
the developers said, "Holy shit!" And he tagged Dreams, the developers. He tagged them. Was like, "Hey, did you guys see this shit? Like these guys basically."
Dreams is, and I don't know if this is a good take or not, man, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it. Dreams is the most creative game ever,
Yeah.
ever. Just
Yeah.
for the fact that you can create something, play it on that player base if you want. Open it to the
Yeah.
public. There is a space for VR. So
Yeah.
like, even though people say that there are probably limited games on VR, there's an unlimited scope on Dreams.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's mind-boggling how it's taken this long to develop a system like this for people to get not only
Super slept
creative,
on.
but also people gotten jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Absolutely.
have taken this this platform and have fucking gone above and beyond, even from what probably the developers even thought they could do.
They
You
can
know what I'm
start
saying?
monetizing. They can start monetizing their content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Can
like you said with
imagine that?
Ratchet
You
and
create a
Clank.
game inside of Dreams. Yeah, you
Yeah.
make a game inside of Dreams and sell it $4 or $5, $3, however much. It's Dreams is an engine that allows you to create a game or play what other people have created.
Yeah. I mean, have you guys seen there's a guy on YouTube, right? And I've spoken about this at length with Nova and Dollar Sign, man. But like there's a guy on YouTube, he's creating an Avatar The Last Airbender game on Dreams.
Wow.
And he's
Oh.
made play-by-play levels.
I've
and
played
they're
it.
as realistic as possible.
It's sick.
You
It's
played it?
pretty dope.
It's
yeah,
sick?
yeah, yeah.
That's
You can play it.
crazy.
And the crazy thing about Dreams too is you can
It's not even
collaborate.
finished
You let's say you're not. Yeah, that game's been in like alpha forever. But yeah, you could definitely play it. But the cool thing about Dreams
I'll
is
drop the link. I'll drop the link in the chat for everyone who wants to see. I
If-
highly suggest
if-
you and Puertorock, Jaydub and Puertorock, you guys check it out. But this is amazing.
yeah, it's cool that like the Ratchet and Clank example you were just saying. The guy who created that Ratchet and Clank game, he didn't even create the character model off of Ratchet. Someone else made it, and that's the cool thing. You could remix other people's shit and say, "Hey, I want to make a first-person shooter, but I don't have any of the stuff to make a first-person shooter." Well, there's people who literally put out free templates. You could say, "Boom, first-person shooter setup," right? And you can change the assets out. You can fucking take someone else's world and put someone else's zombies and AI. I mean, there's people who I just saw a video recently where this guy was making music in Dreams and saying they have a whole MIDI thing. If you're not too hip with music, but he essentially compared making dreams in music in Dreams to like using Pro Tools as a producer. So it's really interesting.
And here's the other thing, Nova, right? Like, mind you, Dreams was set, for the PS4 platform. Imagine that shit upgraded for the PS5
Or
You know what I
PC,
mean?
or PC, like you were
PC.
saying.
And like right now, right? I'm watching a guy who built he just made like the guy who's making that Avatar game. He built the level of Omashu, and like if you guys seen Avatar, there's that scene where he's like riding down this stone slide everywhere, and they built that as they built
In like
that.
scale and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
He made that in scale and made it as like a playable part in the game, and that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? This game is
we didn't see Dreams today, but again, in the chat, if you haven't played it, at least check it out. It's actually on sale right now for $10 fucking. Pick that shit
Can't
up.
Go wrong with that.
It-
You can't go wrong.
There's thousands of games in there, and you can make your own game. But moving on, let's get to Demon Slayer, the anime or whatever
Yes,
that everyone's been
yes.
telling me about. I still have
Can't
not
wait.
watched it. To the people who on the panel right now who do care about Demon Slayer, love the show / movie, Jaydub, you sound excited about this. Tell me like what's your whole thing with this game? Were you excited seeing this compared to like the hype levels you have with the show? Like tell me how you feel about this.
So my son got me into Demon Slayer about 3 months ago. He got me into the anime.
Shout out your
Watched,
son for that.
yeah. So I'm kind of a noob to the anime, and we just watched a movie this past Friday. We have movie nights every Friday, and so we watched the movie. Funimation has the movie, so got Funimation. We watched the movie, totally enjoyed it, and now I get to play the game. So like, I'm all hyped, and I know that the kids are gonna be hyped, so I'm all for it, man.
Okay. Well, did the gameplay remind you of like anything from the show? I haven't watched the show or the movie. Does this look like?
Well,
it's like scene from the show.
Yeah, it's anime, so it has the anime styling and everything. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's a AAA game.
No.
It doesn't have that Jump Force type art style
Polish.
and stuff like that. But that's okay because it's anime. You don't need to have all of that. It doesn't have to have. It's anime.
Yeah.
It's cartoony. That's what it's designed to do. It's supposed to look exactly like the anime stuff. So. But I'm interested in it. Hopefully the game turns out well. I don't think it's going to be a $70 game, so no harm, no foul. It looks good. It looks okay.
Okay.
Again, it's probably made from an indie developer, and it's kind of trying to be true to the anime that you watch. So it's okay. As long as they got all the characters and everything, based on what I've seen, it has. So we'll see.
Okay.
Day one for me.
I know $sign and Cool Hand are excited to pick this up. Puertorock, you've been a little quiet on this game, man. Is this another one you chucking out the window, or is this?
No, it's not chuck out the window, but I see, like, I'm not into anime, but because of the community and the people I follow, I always seen Demon Slayer always being talked about and stuff like that. So I'm familiar simply just because of just seeing the conversations. I don't actually respond to them because it's, I don't watch the show, but it's just interesting to see the excitement of the people having this show. So when I saw this game, I automatically knew, like, oh snap, this is the anime thing, right?
Yeah.
And it looked pretty good, right? So I could imagine, like, if I was interested in an anime or some type of show, and they make a game out of it, and I'm me looking at it, I think it looks really good and stuff like that. Now, on the merit of the game, I'll pay attention more of it because I like the play style. And the mechanics of it. So I would, if I look more into it, I'll give it a shot. Because I played a lot of anime games that I never watched the show, but on the merit of the game itself, it's still a great game, right? Because at the end of the day, whether the game has influence from a show, movie, or if it's own original IP, the game still has to be good, no matter what, right?
Facts.
And so far, looking at it, it looks like it's going to be a good game.
It looks kind of fun.
So I'm not dismissing it at all. Because on the merit, it could still be a great game, even though I don't watch the show and stuff like that. I'm sure if you watch the show, you'll get more out of it because you'll recognize the characters and all that stuff. But I think
more fun because you
have more fun and stuff. But I think on the merit of the game itself, it looked really good.
So here's my only gripe about like anime games, right? Because
he plays a lot.
No, the next season is just about to start. But my whole thing is like this is definitely following the first season of Demon Slayer. My only issue with games like that is that when it stops where I know it's gonna stop, I wish they would kind of go, how like when Dragon Ball Z, they would make, they would put out these movies, or like they would have these episodes, or like when Naruto had episodes of filler. Like, why don't you give us like filler for the game? You know what I mean? Like we can have
DLC.
You're not trying to beat it already, basically, right? You're trying
well, not even that. Like, burn. I know the story. I know the story is and how it's gonna play out, right? Like when you play a Dragon Ball Z game, you go through every fucking saga. You know what I'm saying? Like you go through the Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu, all that shit. But like when it comes to so sometimes what I like is a little more variety, right? Like let me go through the sagas, but like also make me turn left real quick. Give me a side story. Give me a story in the main game that's not canon to the fucking game. To the source.
Nice.
If you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. $sign.
Well, Puertorock. If you ever wanted to get into anime, I recommend starting with My Hero Academia.
No, honestly, no.
That's just me, right? That's just me. Because that's just way more interesting to me.
We were talking about Game of Thrones earlier, right? So I would highly suggest Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is like anime Game of Thrones. It's
more of a drama.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Drop your anime recommendations in the chat, by the way.
There's definitely 3 I would recommend. One is Vinland Saga. 2 is Jujutsu Kaisen. Shout out to C-Dolla. Put me onto that. That one was dope.
Yeah, I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
and then I'll say Demon Slayer, and then I'll say like honorable mention would be My Hero. My Hero is definitely an amazing show.
See, Puertorock, I'm the complete opposite. I'll give you a list of animes from the 90s that are very gritty. But that just kind of that's because I fell off anime.
Yeah, you don't watch anime now.
Well, I saw anime in the past. Like I saw Fist of the North Stars, Akira,
classic.
There was one anime my friend loaned me. I had no idea what it was. I was like, what? I was like, it's fucking. What was it called?
Inuyasha.
No, worse. Let me
was it,
Legend of the Overfiend. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, hell no. I was like, yo.
You know what
I'm talking about? I was like, nah, I ain't watching this.
You know what took me out?
I was like, what the fuck?
When I saw Devilman, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like Devilman from in the 90s, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this, bro?
Yo, that blew me out, man. Because I saw, you know, like I said, I saw Fist of the North Star, I saw Akira. Yeah. And then my boy's like, oh, you like those movies? I got one. He gave me it was a VHS cassette. So this was like in the 90s, right? It was like, yo, it's called Legend of Overfiend. I'm like, cool. So again, I popped it in. Thank God I was by myself, bro, and I wasn't with my girl. Because I would have been like, yo, she would have left my ass.
It was that tentacle.
I popped it in. Yeah. It's like, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Man. Like, yo. And then he's like, yeah, and I got part 2 and 3. I'm like, hell nah. Nah, I'm done. Yeah. Yo.
Oh, hell no.
Yo, I would never be into it if it, being honest, if it really wasn't up to, you know, my kids being into it and them, you know, making me sit down with them and watching it. And eventually I get into it. And then, you know, a couple of people I podcast with, they're big anime people. So, you know, so just hearing from them through the conversation and stuff, they, you know, so I'll jump in and watch it, and, you know, yeah.
Okay. No, I get it, man. Trust me, it's definitely hard to get into something like that, especially when, you know, it takes very strong like it needs to be solid. It needs to be solid throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to move on to the game right before our last 2 big announcements from today. So just kind of preamble to go into this. Me personally, I want to check them out. I've never played a Yakuza game. So what we're looking at right now is Lost Judgment. I believe it's by the same developers behind Yakuza. The reason I haven't gotten to Yakuza is because by the time I like really got hip to it, they were on like freaking Yakuza 30, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But for those who do play,
this
Judgment is way better anyway. So just start out with Judgment.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll just say this outright. And I gave Microsoft the same shit when they pulled this on E3. If you're doing a showcase event, there is no reason why you should be showing DLC. Save that shit for Twitter.
Wait, this isn't DLC.
This isn't DLC. This is a whole game, bro.
No, this is part 2. This is if you have played Judgment. That came out a couple of years ago. That was exclusive to PlayStation.
Oh, I thought this was the DLC.
No, this is Lost Judgment. This is part 2 to that. Judgment is, this game is way better than any of the other Yakuzas. Even Like a Dragon, it's way better, more mature. It's less kooky and funny and
like
just kind of crazy. This actually, the story is in line with more of what casuals like in a game. It's a story behind it. Yeah, it's certain stuff you do, you train and stuff like that, but it's less of the crazy stuff, and it's a story. It's a story to it. You'll learn. Yeah, right now, if you can. Matter of fact, Judgment is supposed to have the PS5 patches supposed to be coming next month or something like that, real soon. So play through that one. You'll like it, and then get part 2. Graphics are great, animation is great. You really get deep into the story, learning about how this guy is. I don't want to spoil the story.
So you would definitely recommend this to someone who, like, let's say, wanted to get into
brand new. Yeah, this was brand new. Now I've played a couple of Yakuzas in the past. Wasn't a big fan, but man, when I played Judgment, it kept my attention. It actually had a story that I fucking cared about, and that's
good to hear.
You know, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that I saw for a second he's on a skateboard. I like what always intrigued me about the Yakuza games is all the little side random mini games you could do that don't really amount to anything, but it's just fun to like play a mini game within a game for some reason.
and that's the theme of what the developer does to their games. They add a bunch of side stuff. You don't have to do them, but there's just so much. I mean, you can sink a couple of hundred hours into this game just bullshitting around and doing stuff. But there's a lot of mature theme subjects in the game and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, other thoughts on this game? Puertorock, are you like a Yakuza fan, or are you a fan of these type of games? I know this is a Sega
Absolutely,
game.
yeah. In fact, right now I'm playing. Like I bought all of them. I even have Judgment, and I'm going through all of them. And I beat Yakuza 0. I beat Kiwami. Now I'm doing Yakuza 2. I'm gonna go through all the way up to what is it? Song of Life. I think it's number 6. I think it's called, right? And then I'll play Judgment, and then I'll go to Yakuza 7. What got me into Yakuza wasn't even Yakuza. Yakuza. It was actually Fistful of North Star, oddly enough.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I love the anime, so I played Fistful of North Star, and I just love the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And when I was talking to somebody on Twitter about it, I'm like, yo, this gameplay is dope. I wish I could play more of it. They'd be like, yo, and they tell me, yo, you play Yakuza? I'm like, nah. And they'd be like, yo, did you not play what was the Sega game? Fucking, oh my God.
Shenmue?
Shenmue. I'm like, I like that game. Like, well, that's literally Shenmue and Fistful of North Star combined. I'm like, you serious? And then when I played so the first one I played was Kiwami, and I was like, oh my God, what was I doing not playing these games?
See, Yakuza's big because they don't make games like that no more. Remember back in the Dreamcast days and stuff, the industry was flooded with games like that.
Good. Yeah, it's so good.
Man, it's good, man. It's
so
really
I bought all of them. I bought all of them, and I'm just going through the line. So when I saw this one, I'm like, oh man, I knew it. It's just great.
Yeah,
this top notch.
You can get Judgment cheap now, and I think it's a free PS5 update with the graphics, textures, and
I'm gonna have to cop
frames and all that stuff. Yeah, trust me, it's worth it. You won't be let down.
More or less,
even if you've never played a Yakuza game in your life, even if you never started with it, trust me, you'll be like.
I feel like I've been sleeping now.
Yeah, me too. How long are these games normally? Like, more or less? I know, Puertorock, you said you're playing through some Yakuza. Are they like what? Are they like 30, 40-hour games, 20-hour games?
Yeah, man. It's especially if you do the minis.
It depends it depends if you do the side stuff, right? Because like I said, there's just a lot. You can go into a restaurant and get drunk, have a knife throwing contest or drinking contest, or
try this out.
It's just a lot of stuff that you can do, man.
The thing about that game is you could probably try to just do the main storyline. The problem is you need the side stories to build up your character, to learn martial arts moves.
Okay.
If you want to if you want to develop your character with these great martial arts moves, there's no way to do that if you just go through the story. It's impossible.
So for me, I'm a huge like wrestling fan, right, in general. And I got into Yakuza 6 because they added like New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers in the game. Okay. So I was like, oh shit, this is dope. And I didn't, I went from a pure like fanboy perspective on like the wrestling side, but once I got into the game, I was like, yo, this is fire. I was like, how come I've never played this game? And I'm like, there's 6 of them, and I'm like, now there's another one. This is wild. Yeah, this. Yeah, you guys are sleeping. Check this out.
Dawson, we might have to start fucking with these Yakuza games, man. Or in Judgment, I might take the advice and just start off with Judgment. I saw
I'm probably gonna do Judgment first too.
Chelsea Paul in the chat says that they believe it's on PS Now. I'm gonna have to double check that after the show, even though I canceled PS Now. Interesting. Okay. Well, hey, I would definitely say y'all sold me. I'm gonna check these games out. I've always been curious, but it's like I just never pulled the trigger because I always felt like so behind. I'm like, yo, for me to get like up to do what Puertorock is doing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna start off with Judgment though. Moving on to the next game. Before we get to Deathloop, personally, my favorite game that I saw, even though it's already come out, Death Stranding Director's Cut. They finally showed us what the hell we're actually getting in this game. So if you're looking at the video, I'm gonna be stopping it at certain points, just to talk about some of the features they announced today. Some of the shit I saw, I'm like, damn man, I really wish this was in the base game. And like I said, I'll stop it once we pop up to something.
So you want Mario Kart in the base game?
Hey, you know what? Again, Death Stranding is a super polarizing game. People either love it or hate it, and I have these conversations at work.
It's my game of the year.
Me too. If you make it to the end credits, your jaws drop. You're just like, wow. A lot, and I've had this argument with this dude at work. He's like, "Oh, well, the game, you know how I know it's a bad game because it takes too long for it to get it to get it going." I'm like, "Yo, to be honest,
that's the point of the game.
That's the whole point of the game. It's hard for you the first couple hours, but guess what? Then you start building the roads, right? Or if you're in your server, they're building the roads out.
Once you get your vehicles, 10 hours.
Yeah. First 10 hours. He makes it hard for you on purpose to then really enjoy the rest of the game. And people find that so fucking like, oh, that sucks. Well, I don't want to have to waste the 10 hours of my life on something that's not fun. It's like, all right, but then you miss out on all the rest of the fucking great experience it is. Now, go ahead, Jaydub.
I hate to see it. A lot of people missed out on this game before the game even came out, right? They wanted to poke fun at delivering packages and stuff like that. Some of it is Kojima's fault and the marketing team's fault because they really... And I get why they couldn't really tell people exactly what it is, right? It's an experience. You have to go through it. You have to understand exactly what you're doing and how it affects humanity and how it affects you. But in this game, there's a point in the game, maybe after hour 5 or something like that. Yes, you have to invest some time in this game, but that's what gaming is about.
Exactly.
But I'll never forget, I was walking over this mountain and I started going down a little valley in the mountain and the music kicked on.
Oh, yeah.
And the scenery kind of unfolded. It was this big open gorge. And it just hit me, man. Like, there's points in this game where this game just hits you and you're like, this fucking Kojima is a fucking genius to get me to feel the feelings that I feel at doing this stuff. Now, again, for a lot of people, they want combat, they want guns. You know, this game is not for everybody. Some people only care about the Call of Duties and the pew shooters, right? There's guns in this game, there's combat in this game, but for you to get to that point, you're gonna have to roll the story and go through some stuff and have some deliveries. But most of all, just understand why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you doing this?
Exactly.
Right. That's really what it is. Yeah.
No, that's a great take. And Dollar Sign, I know I heard you were trying to chime in. What are your kind of going on that thread of what we were just talking about? People not giving this a shot and just writing it off immediately. I mean, I get it. See, if I wasn't a fan of Kojima's previous games, it would be hard for me to kind of be sold on this based on what they showed. And like you said, part of it's Kojima's fault and how it was marketed. You know, but I think it was almost done on purpose. Like, all right, well, if you just think it's a walking simulator, hey, it is what it is. But then you miss out on the gun. You know how many people I talked to who didn't even know there were guns in this game?
No guns in the game.
Like, what? There's lethal weapons and there's non-lethal. Yep. And if you kill somebody, you're risking leaving a fucking nuke, a semi-permanent nuke that's in your world. Like, a lot of people miss a lot of these little details. That are left in the game.
There's a whole battle zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, yeah.
I mean, listen, I will say part of it is just because there's so much buildup. Like, buildup is cool in a movie and in a TV show. It's hard to do that in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hard to trudge through 30% of a game with really no real progression.
I would say like 25%, to be fair. I wouldn't say
that's still a lot. Yeah. That's still a lot. You know what I mean? That's still a lot of buildup. You get what I mean? Like, that's still a lot of trudging and fucking.
But can I say this? Is that really different than having a gun in your hand and just shooting for like 90% of the game? You're just mindlessly shooting a bunch of aliens with nothing really you care about. It's kind of, to me personally, it's the same shit. If that's the case,
it's one of those things. Like, you walk in, right? You see gameplay trailer. You see gameplay footage, and then all of a sudden, like 25% of the game, you're grinding. You get what I'm saying? Like, with nothing, you're really just farming at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of hard to justify it when like what you advertise is not what you like, is not what you get in the beginning. And I'm not saying that's not a good thing, right? Like, some people I feel like once you get past the grind, the game is worth it. But what I'm saying is build-up is very hard to do in a video game as opposed to movies, as opposed to TV shows. You get what I'm saying? Or like even books. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to get that with video games because you're actively in it. You're actively immersed. You know what I mean? You actively want to go out and do something. You know, it's like from what you guys are explaining to me, it's like 25% of the game is a tutorial.
No, it's
No, not like that.
Not at all. And I just want to say for you, Cool Hand. Sorry, I almost called you your real name. I mean, look at the new things we're getting. Look at the screen. New battles, right? These crazy ass bosses.
I'm not mad at it, right? I'm not mad at it, right? Like I can if I know that there's gold at the other side of the rainbow.
There is.
I'll trudge through it. You get what I'm saying?
So,
like I'll go through the fire to get.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a lot more critical to this game than you guys are.
Oh yeah, no. I've heard your takes on this.
More, bro.
So.
Oh, let me hear that take, Puertorock.
I'm gonna let y'all finish and get your points.
Okay.
No,
hold on.
We're gonna talk about this game. I'm gonna go.
I had a few more takes on it.
Hold on. Go ahead.
So like my one main criticism of the game was like the combat was a little simple. Like there wasn't enough variety for me, but they did add to it. There's like more weapons. There's more like support weapons. There's more enemy variety. They've added new human enemies, new those like what are they called? BTs.
BTs, yeah.
They had more BT type enemies. New boss battles.
Well, yeah. Look at what's on the screen right now. Advanced combat mechanics. They're upgraded melee, right? So addressing what you just mentioned right now. New ways to kick enemies' asses and shit. A mazer gun, which I'm sorry, this shit looks fucking dope. Mounted machine guns, something where you can launch your firing range.
You can load your pack and fire it over.
And they've added mini games. They added the racing mini game and the
I saw that.
fire range.
But we have to trudge through 25% of the game just to.
You don't know that though. This is director's cut. All right, go ahead, Puertorock. Talk your shit.
Let's stop bullshitting. This was a FedEx. Oh my God! Let's all be honest. Most of the game, you go into a room, guy says blah blah blah. I need a package. You put that shit on your back. You go to another building, drop that shit off. And in between, you're just trying not to get it dirty. You're trying to balance yourself, climb a mountain. And that's most of the game, right? The best part of the game is that I would say is innovative is the chiral network. And I think that philosophy and concept in another game would be amazing. But in that game, like it's so much walking and building, and that's all you do. Like, yes, there's guns in this game, right? But that's like calling Grand Theft Auto a melee game simply because you have a couple of street fights. It's just that's not it. There could have been so much more action to that. A lot of it was walking. A lot of it, most of the time I spent was just trying to build roads. And then once I got the road built, I just, boom, I was able to drive back and forth. And that's really all I was doing. I load up a truck, put my shit on, and I drive. And I go to the next base.
You make it sound like a job.
Yo, it was for real. That's all I did, right? It wasn't until the 4 sequences where you had to fight or you had to go to a specific area is where you felt some type of dread or danger or combat, whatever, right? But most of the part, if you're going to fight, it's because you're kind of forced into it. Like you either have to go to a camp that had a special package or you have to go to one of those old ruins and then you have to, your little machines that click, and all that stuff. Those are the areas that really, change up the gameplay. But for the most part, majority of the game is you got a package, you got to take it to point A, point B, or point C, and you're gonna keep doing that back and forth, earn some materials, and build up the network.
That's because you're coming from
the whole game.
That's because you're coming from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, trying to connect the networks to get people to work together to save.
Because everyone,
man. Yo, it was like Kevin Costner. Like, Kevin Costner.
I get it. Listen, Puertorock is the anti-car guy. He hates racers with a passion, right? And I'm the car guy. I'm the racer, right? I love cars, got them, everything else, right? I'm on any racing game. I'm there. So we're coming from that car to the non-car. That's kind of to me, the game was about the story. Like, I get it. I had to grind through it, and sometimes, it was tedious and it was hard. But that was the struggle that they tried to make you go through in order to do that. And there was a message there.
That's not fun, man. Like, you put a...
No, I get it.
You take a FedEx box and you put it on your back, and you have to cross 25 kilometers. Oh, thanks for the package. Good job. And you get a rating. Like, that's not gaming, man. That's like, this is crazy. Like I could understand he could have changed, instead of worrying about trying to carry 10,000 tons of packages, what probably would have been more aligned and probably more acceptable and more mainstream is if you just have to carry one specific package, but you have to fight your way through all this land, and not just against people, but a shit ton of those, what they're called, bios, whatever the fuck, excuse my language, whatever they're called, yeah, BTs, right? Like you're constantly going through ruins and you're constantly under the attack, and you know, that would have made more sense, right? But really, you don't even have that. Most of the time, the biggest danger is you don't slip on a rock and fall, and you're like, oh my god, all my packages are
Portorock, did you make it to the end?
Yeah, I beat the game.
Yo, you called it a FedEx simulator.
Yeah, it is. You're telling me it's not.
People were saying that before the game even came out.
But let's be honest. I beat the game. Who's going to argue that it's not a FedEx simulator? Who really is going to say that claim? Because I could show you hours of my gameplay. All I'm doing is walking up a mountain. And the mission is to deliver all these packages. That's the majority of the game.
So
the majority of the game is delivering packages. That's FedEx.
Yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. But I think what you mentioned before with the coolest part about the game, in your opinion, was the chiral network, right? So in my server, we was booted up, right? I built all the roads. You know how they blessed me? They started putting them little fast, what are they called?
Like ropes, the trampolines,
no,
all that stuff.
The thing that just shoots you, the like zip line.
Yeah, like you aim it, yeah.
We had zip line.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, which
helped out. That gameplay mechanic
doesn't come till later.
Evolve another genre and could make another game like an RPG or something just fantastic. Yeah. Like if they take that concept, they could take that concept on crack and just implement it in a game that has a bit more fun, right? But majority of the game is really just delivering packages between fights in order to build up that chiral network. That majority of gameplay is boring. That is not fun gameplay. Just simply putting on it. Like, again, if you were to deliver packages and actually go through some type of strife to deliver that package, I will get it. Like, you walk through more ruins. You walk through more camps. You like a little bit of like Metal Gear Solid type shit.
So like less deliveries.
Challenge between point A and B. Not just make the delivery and the most difficult part of delivery is you're walking through a stream and now you're running out of energy and you fucking, excuse my language, you fall flat.
No, you
could. That's not.
Yo, Portorock, you can cuss, man.
You can cuss.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, because I try to make sure you know what I'm saying.
It was a PG-13.
Like point A to point B. The biggest challenge is walking through the river. Yeah. Like there should have been more challenging. Like, yes, there is guns, there is some type of thing. They should have emphasized that, right? Worry less about carrying 2 tons of packages and make it more about, hey, this one specific package is important. It needs to get to this point. But in order to go to this point, no, you're gonna have to go through this, decrepit city.
How'd you feel?
How'd
you feel about the boss fights?
No, hold on.
Hold on, I want to hear this. How'd you feel about the boss fights, like the flashbacks and like the
boss fights? The boss fights themselves could have been a little bit harder. It was a little bit too easy for my taste, especially when the game has very little fighting as much. At least the boss fights could have been more dramatic and much more, intensive. To me, they weren't that intensive.
So, Nova, for you, do you have a counter to this?
No, I mean that's his opinion.
No,
I mean he's not wrong.
I'm even giving my opinion. I'm literally describing you the game, so it's not like whether I like it or not. That's literally the game. Literally are walking. You are literally delivering.
I don't disagree.
And majority of the time, really the biggest threat on those packages is either the rain. That's another one. Yeah. So you gotta carry them resin shit so you unrust it. Yep. And maybe you walk into an area that might screw you up, where you lose balance, or you're walking through a river and you're losing a certain amount of strength. That's really the majority of the challenges. Like the challenges of fighting, shooting, or being in danger, there's very little of that. And most of the time, when you're put in those scenarios, it's because that's how the story progresses.
So
for the most part.
So the story sticks out more to me than the more annoying gameplay loops. But I do agree with you. If there were less packages, right, but there was more emphasis on the importance of maybe you're not delivering 1 million packages back and forth, because that was something that got kind of annoying with me. I'm like, damn, I'm going to farm this one character until I'm 5-star with them, and then I'm never going back to this area again. So I understand that struggle. It just, when I look at the experience as a whole, looking back, I just think about the last half of the game, how great the characters were written and shit like that. But yeah, you're right. The in-between stuff isn't the most rosiest stuff. through the features like the chiral network, it can make the game a little bit easier for you, right? If you're on a road, if you have your motorcycle, you got a bunch of shit on there, it kind of takes away from that time. So no, I agree. I mean, no one's gonna have the same opinion on it. Just the story is what stuck with me is what I will say.
That's what I mostly did. I focused more on just building the roads, so that way I could just go up and down the map and just do what the game primarily wants me to do, which is deliver packages. So I said, you know what? Let me focus on the roads. Let me focus building this, and I build. Once I got all the roads built, at that point, it's just me getting. Oh, snap. Oh, my bad. It's just me getting one of those trucks, and boom, it was just going through it until I hit that point of the chapter of the story.
Yeah, I just with what the game came out with, I think this director's cut might be a good introduction for people, because you have, I assume that it addresses a lot more of these gripes, like the combat, new bosses, and shit like that. So I doubt it's gonna change the storyline so much, but we do know there's new story missions. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what the whole package is, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna pick it up. I don't know if I'm gonna jump right into it and just replay it. That's a game for me where like I have to give that game some space to breathe before I get back into it. But
you've seen supposedly the prices came out
$10, yeah.
Upgrade.
No, what for what? To upgrade?
To upgrade,
so
yeah.
$10.
Already on the game.
If we already got the game, $10 to upgrade
for PS4 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad at all.
That's not bad.
That's
Wait.
good.
Hold up. So what if you? All right. So if you own the PS4, because that's the version I got, right?
Yeah.
To upgrade it to the PS5 version, what I got to do? Just pay $10.
$10.
$10.
And then boom, I get the PS5 version.
You get
Yeah, because I'm looking. What is it? Damn, I just missed it. But it's like 3 tiers of director's cut. Like, am I misunderstanding?
Well, only because that's like if you get the gold outfit, you get special outfits and
digital deluxe
stuff like that. Yeah.
There's a digital
That's
deluxe
what that
version.
is. Yeah, you don't have to
Got a
get all
digital
that stuff.
deluxe director's cut too now.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I got
if you never bought it the game.
Yeah, there's like now the director's cut got like 3
Yeah.
different versions. I'm
But
like,
if you already
what?
had the deluxe
Yeah.
version on
Yeah.
PS4, you get it on the PS5, $10. It's the same upgrade fee.
Okay.
see, I had the
But they're charging you $30 extra for the Ghost of Tsushima one.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of you.
yeah.
Oh snap!
But that's I don't
We're not
wanna
going
go
into
down
this
that
again.
rabbit hole.
We're not going into this because
I'm like
we all know
this.
what happened last week when I had a body
You
bag you on that argument.
Hold on. Body bag who? Where? What? I'm sorry, what?
Yo, check the
You
last
think-
week's episode. You want to see
yeah.
Cool Hand get body bagged?
Listen, I don't want to hear about spending money for people who consistently play Call of Duty and Madden and Grand Theft Auto and they
Facts.
spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars
FIFA,
on all
2K.
that shit, right? Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Here's the thing. I don't mind spending $20 on the DLC. I don't like the fact that I have to pay for the PS5 upgrade. That's my only gripe. That is my main gripe.
I'm at $30 for the DLC and call it and have a great day.
Thank you.
I don't understand. Like,
I'm paying for the upgrade. I'm getting taxed for the upgrade.
listen, whether they call it $10 for the upgrade and $20 for the DLC, call it a $30 DLC, and it's the same thing. It doesn't
The game was awesome and you enjoyed it. You loved it.
I love the game.
like-
I'm not mad at it.
these are semantics that people are personally choosing to rage against for no reason because they're going to end up buying it anyway, right? It's just
Facts. But
I
yo,
don't know.
I'm gonna stop
It's
it
a
before we
premium tax.
go down that fucking rabbit hole because we'll spend the rest of the show.
This director's cut was $10.
Let's get to the final game.
You probably don't get what you get over there. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let's move past this because I know this is gonna go down a deep rabbit hole, and I can't bury a body twice, so I'm not trying to do that right now. Let's talk. Hold on. Let's just talk about Deathloop already, man. We've been waiting. There's been the slow burn. This was the highlight of today. Based on what I saw on Twitter, people seem pretty divided on it. Some people are like, this is just another Dishonored, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even play Dishonored, and this shit looks really fun to me. And there's just so much variety. First off, foremost, I want to hear from C-Dolla because I know you're very opinionated about this. Keep in mind, everyone, this is an Xbox Studios game that Sony literally took 9 minutes out of their showcase for to say, hey, here you go.
PlayStation, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm so pumped for this. I like the it's all based on runs, kind of like a roguelike game, but it's not a roguelike because it's not like the map is changing every time you play. And I really like I didn't realize that the other main character is the invader. So like while you're playing, you can invade people and mess up their runs.
Yeah.
And that I think I'm just gonna play the villain role most of the time and just fuck people's lives. Like I cannot wait to do that.
What an asshole.
I mean, he does it in Dark Souls games too.
Yeah,
no, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do y'all think about it, man? Like I said, this game, it looks interesting to me. It's not like something that we've never seen before, but I think it adds a bunch of things that we've seen before into something cool, right? I like how, when you die, time reverses, kind of like showing you your whole path. It's like, all right, you might want to try it different this time, and how there's there's different ways to pursue a situation. I wasn't too crazy about the like little notes the game leaves you, but maybe that's something to do with like other people who've also been on the island. I think the game leaves a little bit breadcrumbs, like you're not the only person who's tried to do.
Or maybe it's breadcrumbs you're leaving yourself for, like, to show you how to break the loop. You know what I mean?
Great point. Yeah, that definitely could have been it. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like you're like leaving notes from yourself from when you died in the past.
Because there's a point where you absorb your own dead body to gain some sort of, like, I guess, stamina armor. I don't know what the hell they call it.
Yeah, that was like a power up later in the game. I don't think you get that when you first start.
Now, when the character dies, did they mention like you have to start like kind of like a rogue game? You lose everything and you just start out with a pistol or some knife or bullshit, and you have to re-equip everything. Did they clarify on that, or?
Yeah,
I'm on the fence of this game because I beat Returnal. Yeah, I beat Returnal, and Returnal's awesome, but I can't play another game like that this year.
I think
I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to do another one. Like I can't do it. I need like 300. Or I need over 300 days of recharge before I attempt another game like that.
You need to
I think
replay
it's
Ratchet.
somewhat like that, where there's like a currency, like a permanent currency you have, and you can use that currency to reuse weapons you've unlocked already.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to wait till after releases because I don't know, man. I can't do another game like Return. Returnal's amazing, but man, that game really tests your limits.
This game is said to have a multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying you can jump in and be the. You can jump in and be the.
Yeah, I wonder
how
that's gonna play out though. Like, what kind of multiplayer modes are they gonna have, or is it just like
Invasion?
Just a co-op? Oh.
It's Invasion, I think.
Yeah, you're that chick. You're the chick.
Yeah, no.
Is that the only multiplayer on it?
Ain't nobody gonna invade me because my Ethernet
Not
code
sure. I
be
think
off.
that's all they. All they kind of said for right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder because
I need to read a blog. I need to read a blog.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They touched on the multiplayer component, and we know the invasion is it, but they didn't say that was the only one. So I'm curious to see what other multiplayer what's the multiplayer component.
Honestly, Cool Hand, I could not imagine this game being like a 5-on-5 type deal, especially like how you move and like how the game works. I understand the whole invader aspect because you can almost like stalk the person who's in the game and just like get that shot on them or whatever. But I could not see a game like this with like 5 people running around fucking zipping left and right. It would just be it would look
unfair.
like
It'll be unfair.
Exactly. Yeah. So
you already got to fight all these characters on the screen and yet it would be a PvE versus PvP. Like it would.
Yeah.
It would just be kind of wonky.
But I mean, is this game? I know Puertorock said that this isn't. He's kind of on the fence with this. Is this a day one for anyone? Because
this is definitely day one for me. I love like those twitchy, fast-paced shooters. This is right up my alley.
Yeah. I mean, I love this.
The game looks great. I just can't play another roguelike game. That was just too much.
Yeah.
Like I normally don't play roguelike games.
It's not a roguelike game. It's just after you die, you have to start back from
the checkpoint,
that
right?
point. Yeah, from that point.
But like, let's say if you kill 2 guys, and then you die. Do you have to go back and kill those 2 guys all over
yes,
again?
you do. Yes, you do.
Oh shit! Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but it's not like Returnal. I hear what
But
you're
like,
saying.
do at least, but like, let's say, all right, let's say as you play the game, right, and you
Yeah.
kill maybe 2, 3 guys, whatever. Obviously, there's power ups, abilities, you unlock weapons. When you die and restart over, does he keep those abilities, or you lose everything? You start from ground zero all over again, kind of like Returnal. Like Returnal, you lose everything. You butt naked.
I don't think it's gonna be that
I'm
brutal.
I can't do that.
Let me read the blog.
I'll probably entertain it as long as he's able to learn his skills and keep his skills. But
Yeah.
if you lose everything all over, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do that again.
Just judging by like the studio and like type of games they've made in the past, I don't think they're gonna be that brutal, Puertorock. I think Returnal was kind of like, we're putting our balls on the table here. This is a hard game. Only a couple of y'all who are persistent are gonna beat this game, you know? Because this game definitely seems more mainstream. Which I know Returnal was trying to be mainstream, but they were pretty on the nose since the beginning. Like, hey, this is your shot to beat this game, and it's not the first time that they've made roguelike games. So this being a Bethesda game, nah, I don't see it. But okay, I think everyone's either likes this type of game or is on the fence, to be honest.
It looks good. It's just the gameplay for me. I may not have the heart for it right now.
Okay.
It's gonna. Yeah, I don't know if I could invest in another stressful game.
I haven't even played Returnal yet.
Yeah, but I feel like this is less stressful than
You gotta
Returnal.
play it, man. You gotta
get it.
Returnal's a great game.
You
It's
gotta
a great
play it,
experience. But my God, that game
You
will
gotta
test.
play it.
Once I beat Act 1, it just had its teeth synced into me. I just could not stop playing Returnal
Yeah.
for a while.
I'm gonna tell you, Act 1 was the hardest for me. Biome 1
It
was the
is.
hardest.
It was
By
the
far.
hardest.
It's
was the
definitely the hardest.
hardest.
The hardest boss in the game is the final boss of the first act.
Really?
Listen, when I killed the first boss, I felt like I
Yes.
beat the game. I felt like
Oh my God,
the
yeah.
weight
When
was
I
off
beat
my
Biome
shoulder.
1, I felt like I felt I didn't need to play no more. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Biome 1 was a pain in the ass. And then after that, I mean, every other biome was difficult, but I think Biome 1 has so many trials and tribulations and learning curves that once you figured it out, you apply it to the rest, and then it just, and then you get better weapons too in other biomes. That really helped out.
So how does that work? So a question I have, and I probably knew this but forgot. Is there any point in the game where like you do get to keep anything that you've built up after you die, or no? Like, are there like hard skills?
Weapon mods.
There's certain, no, not
Okay.
the mods, no. Well, what is it? I think the things that you keep is like accessing like the elevator, that hook line.
Okay.
Put it like this.
That's the only thing you really keep. But anything that deals with skills, like proficiency, you lose. Health upgrades, you lose. The weapons, you lose.
It's easier to get that stuff back. It's easier to get it back after you beat, let's say, the first one. It's easy.
Yeah.
Once you beat Biome 1 and you go to Biome 2, it's easier to get back because the portal open up. You can just easily like take the shortcut to go to that biome, right? So you don't have to beat the whole thing all over again. Same thing. Yeah, when you beat Biome 3 or whatever, you got a Biome phone. It's easy to, because you start out at Biome 1, I just run through and go straight to the shortcut that they have to get me to Biome 2 or 3 and to get to Biome 4. You see what I'm saying?
So like when you start, let's say if you beat Biome, let's say you beat 2 and 3, right? And you die at 3. It's gonna start you all the way back to Biome 1, scratch with a stupid pistol, right? You can get the shortcuts, right, and go back to Biome 3, and then at the start of Biome 3, or each of the new biomes anyway, they have like a little thing you absorb. You absorb, and it boosts your level up to be competitive for that level, right?
Yeah.
Or but what I did though, I still kind of ran around the other biomes because you can still earn proficiencies and upgrades.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
and
you can farm and you can farm and beat yourself. And that way, when you hit the boss, you already like it's much easier because But me, I try to take the shortcut and I just forget everything. I run past everything. I go to where I kind of basically died off at Biome 3 or 4, and then it automatically puts me, like Puertorock said, back to that level kind of where I was. That's comparable for that level. And then I'll just whatever the first weapon I find, it automatically starts you at like level 9 or level 10 for that weapon. So it's easier. You don't, so
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you, just
I'm definitely getting it.
It's just yeah,
that's a training ground right there. Buy ones when you earn your stripes.
Just to be petty, I'm leaving this on the screen real quick right here. PlayStation 5 console exclusive in small words. Also available on PC, not available on other consoles until at least
next year,
September 14th, 2022.
A whole year.
A whole year. Damn.
I'm gonna do what I normally do. I'm gonna stream the whole game. I'm gonna tell all the secrets and everything. No, I'm just joking.
Man, you gonna spoil that shit for everybody.
Thank you, Phil, for providing for us PlayStation fans.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
And guess what? And we're gonna turn around and do it all over again with Tokyo Ghostwire.
Oh, yep. Facts.
That's petty, man. Play-by-play tips.
Facts. Yep.
One thing I think that makes Deathloop a lot different than Returnal is there is a sneaking mechanic in Deathloop, where you can see all the enemies and kind of like plan out. So actually, let me go up this vent and attack them from above, or let me try to like snipe some of these guys and thin them out first before I fight. Where Returnal is like, it's just like bullet hell at all times.
Chelsea Paul in the chat says, bad time to mention I finished Returnal in my first run without a reset. What do y'all think about that?
Cap.
I hate him. I hate him.
Who said that?
I hate him.
In the chat.
Chelsea Paul.
Chelsea Paul.
I need proof.
Proof.
Chelsea Paul.
Proof will never happen. I need to see a
hit us up on Twitter. We need proof to see this.
I need to see timestamp of when you booted the game up.
Your purchase history. We need to see all this.
I need to see when you bought the game, when it's first booted up. I need to see the complete playthrough.
There's no way on God's green earth.
There's no way
that you fucking did that without no video proof. There's no way you go on a run like that.
I mean, let's see the trophies. See the trophies.
There was a lot of guys that were saying that this game was easy and listen, I get it. I admit the shit. I'm not that. Maybe I was just feeling like fuck. Like my gaming skill is just done. Like these fucking dudes are beasting through this game and shit, and here I am struggling on Biome 1. I was like, man, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And again, I was too busy trying to take shortcuts. Right? If you just don't take a shortcut and just go ahead and go through everything, go through the doors you need to go through, because you guys know the door with the little crown on it, whatever. I will skip past that because I know I'm.
Oh, the challenge rooms?
Yeah, the challenge room. I hate those fucking things. Because I'll get like red fair where I'm about to beat the creature and then I die, and it's like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have went in this room, right? But you get rewarded versus not.
You get a lot of goodies for doing the challenge rooms.
Exactly. So
yeah, the challenge rooms are the shit. Yeah. The
so when I died or something like that. I died because it was my fault, not necessarily because it was too hard. It was my fault. I tried to take the fucking shortcut and the short way out of things, and and you need to upgrade yourself to that level. You need the proficiency, and you need all that stuff. That's just kind of how it is. It's it's a great game though. Great game, kind of a one of a kind type game for with that. And kudos to the developers for making that game, man.
Yeah, that's marquee. Now part of Sony family.
Now part of yeah.
Let's switch gears. I want to talk about more controversial topic, right? So we're over here. We've talked a lot, on different podcasts, and even tonight about PlayStation and Xbox, right? And even though I don't think GP was mentioned one time this show, I don't think so. I don't think anyone's mentioned it, which I'm happy.
Hey Nova, did you know the entire Yakuza collection is on Game Pass?
There you go. He had to ruin it. You had to ruin it. We about to start losing viewers, all that.
Not judgment.
Let's oh, there you go. Not judgment.
Exclusive.
Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch, right? The third competitor, right?
Oh my god! This guy knows what he's doing.
Good.
Wait, hold on, Nova. When you said controversial, I thought you were going to talk about this Slam piece article that came out against Sony today. You know what I mean? Like,
what Slam piece?
What Slam piece?
earlier this week about Sony being difficult to work with indie devs.
Man, that ain't shit to what Nintendo did.
We saw
Bro,
that today.
That's
What Nintendo
We saw
did.
all those crying those indie developers today with all
Facts.
these indie games they showcased.
Facts.
Huh?
Nah,
That's
what
not even
Nintendo
worth
did,
talking
there's
about.
a special place in hell for that shit.
Yeah. No. We need to
These
talk about the Nintendo
motherfuckers,
fucking Switch right now and
Yeah,
this bullshit ass upgrade. If you want to even call it an upgrade, a screen upgrade. And I'm
Ain't
gonna
no
put
damn upgrade.
I'm gonna put this on the
It's
screen and leave it there for a little bit.
Trash.
I'm gonna just leave that right there.
Damn, yeah. You know what's crazy? I don't own a Switch, but I was like, you know what? I'll buy one now.
For what? If you're not playing it,
you play the games at 356p.
yeah,
for the most
dude,
of them,
you're playing on something that's weaker than an OG Xbox One and PS4. Like
It's right next to a Vita.
Yeah, it's a NVIDIA Tegra processor. I remember when these things were first announced on Android tablets years ago.
The first Android tablets at that.
Yes, and this is what they're using, right? Which don't get me wrong, they've done a lot with what they have.
Not even the latest version.
Hell no,
The
not
first version.
facts. Yeah, and the fact that they're able, it was like the first like gigahertz version, and the fact that we've been waiting for all these, we've been hearing Switch Pro for all these years and shit, and then this is what we get. It's a slap in the face because look, I saw a meme, and I know y'all probably saw this on Twitter, where it's like OLED people with OLED TVs reading about the new Switch.
Playing on OLED.
Exactly. Like, what's the
Plug
point?
the Switch into their TV. It's already exact same. Yeah.
PS Vita. No, go ahead.
The mere fact that majority of the stats show that majority of people play their Switches docked
Facts.
doesn't lead credence to the extra $50 upgrade for this thing, because your Switch is going to be docked anyway, right?
Let's call this what it is. This is just
Finesse.
greed in the purest form, right?
Yeah.
Because this was not made with the intention of trying to push gaming forward.
No,
Clearly, this was not truly something to give somebody a truly upgraded experience. This is just simply to take
money grab.
It's just simply take a device that's old as hell, because we're talking about mobile chip from 2017, and find a way if they can even make more money off it. And they found a way by adding an old ass OLED screen, which the Vita had 10 years ago.
Yep.
And they slap a $50 price. They did nothing. This doesn't do anything to advance gaming.
No extra battery, no extra frames, nothing.
Same
nothing.
Matter of fact, it's even worse because OLED uses more battery, so we get less battery life, right? We're gonna get less battery life, so
I'm
Broken
not
Ga-
sure about that. I think
Broken Ga-
OLED's actually more energy efficient than LCD.
according to the articles, it's not.
Yeah. Well, Broken Games brought up a good point. So Nintendo, when you look at anything they did in terms of Switch, it was catering more to the mobile gamer, right? Obviously, they created a Switch, released it, and it's like you could take your games on the go. You could take your games on the go, right? That was the whole thing. But when you look at the commercial, it was more like people were already playing on the go, and then they went at home and docked it. So the commercials themselves gave the impression of this is more of a mobile device, right?
Yeah.
And then they decided, you know what? Let's cater to the audience that only plays mobile, and they could save $100 since they're not going to play dock. So they made the Switch Lite, right? So that's catering to the mobile audience even more, because you still get that mobile experience at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
Now they have the opportunity to be like, you know what? We hooked up the mobile gamer. Let's give a true experience to the dock gamers with their 4K TVs, and they could take advantage of better graphics or frame rate, something, right? They didn't do that. They just slapped down an OLED and this whole better audio on a stupid tablet.
Yeah.
And then they add $50. I could maybe understand if this was the replacement of the Switch. So they say, hey, this is the new Switch. It's $300. The old Switch, we're dropping the price to $250 and phasing it out. So buy it while you can. But this is the new Switch going forward for $300. No, this is like they're still making the old one.
Yeah.
For $300. They're gonna make this one.
And they're making a new one. And they're making a Pro.
Yes,
they are making a Pro. Yeah.
Like, are they gonna make a Pro? Because I'm not even confident they're gonna do that. Because for what?
Well,
why make a Pro?
Here's the thing, right? According to Digifoundry and IGN and the guys at IGN, the reason they did this is the same reason they did 2DS, 3DS, the XL, the new 3DS, right? And all kind of other iterations. There was like, I believe, 8 different iterations of the 3DS.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And the majority of them had nothing to do with power jump. It was just a screen orientation. It was, just little small, pretty much shit like what they did now, right? And then they charge you extra $50. So Nintendo has a habit of doing this.
This is a
Think about
handheld.
it. You got a think about it. You got a $199 unit. I'm pretty sure the original Switch is going to drop to $249. This is going to be the $350 unit, and by the time the Pro comes out, they may drop it to $299, and then the Pro will probably be the $399 unit. That's Nintendo. They have a history of doing this. This shouldn't be shocking to anybody. It's 2021. And Nintendo hasn't gotten together with the party chat system. They haven't had achievements and none of that, and they get a pass for doing all of this anti-consumer shit. You know how PlayStation and Microsoft, Xbox dudes always fighting over anti-consumerism and shit? This is anti-consumerism 101, but nobody dare say anything against the Yakuza themselves, Nintendo. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Nintendo is known for doing this stuff. They're the ones that their launch games for the Switch still cost $50, $60. You see what I'm saying? Full price.
I've
been looking at Luigi Mansion waiting for it to go down.
It's never going down. Nintendo games never go down.
Watch Rift Apart in about a year. Going to be cheaper than most of the Nintendo games that came out 3-4 years ago.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Like people are they can play Rift Apart $70. Watch that game reach $29, $19, and you're still going to be playing the original Breath of the Wild for like $49.
Yep.
Glinter says in the chat. He said why offer steak if your fans will pay $60 for a hot dog?
Oh, it's crazy, bro. Like Nintendo, and I know like the catch-all to which you could say, well, it's all about the games, not about the hardware. I'm like, I agree with that statement. The only problem is, if you're talking to an Xbox fan, you could pull that stunt. But to a PlayStation fan, you can't pull that stunt because we got the quality games and all the extra benefits, the haptic controls.
Exactly.
3D audio, great online system, trophies and stuff like that. We get it all. Like Sony's not, obviously you can always get better, but there is a lot Sony does and brings to the table. Nintendo brings nothing to the table other than trying to charge you for cardboard.
Yep.
Oh well, let's not talk about the
This shit is
remasters
crazy.
that aren't remasters. I'm sorry, ports. They will port something to the Switch and charge you $60.
They slap
Full
an
price
HD title on the back of it and charge you the same price they originally did back in the day.
It's
Isn't
crazy.
that not bullshit?
It's crazy.
This company is trash, bro.
Yep.
And let's be honest, right? I understand the point of, but it's all about the games. Cool. But when was the last time Nintendo actually made a big blockbuster Game of the Year title? It's been 4 years.
Zelda,
Breath of the
It's
Wild.
been 4 goddamn years.
Yeah, that's
So it's not
2016.
so they're not right. They're not making consistent bangers. Sure, they have games that sell a lot, but they're not making consistent bangers. They're like, oh man, this is a AAA Game of the Year level title. They haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Mario Golf is pushing units, man. Pushing mad units.
And it does.
Exactly, but
It does.
I mean,
But that ain't
that's
no AAA Game of the Year banger. That ain't no Goldie. Like Jaydub says. That ain't no Goldie. They haven't made Goldie level games in a minute.
I will say this about
Maybe Animal
Nintendo.
Crossing?
Oh shit.
I will say this about Nintendo. One thing Nintendo's doing that no one else is doing, that everyone almost forgot about, because we're all
mobility piece.
No, couch co-op.
Man,
if you look at games, they have a lot of.
I don't care for that.
But that's what I'm saying. If you got someone at your house, like there's not no party games on Xbox or PlayStation. Don't get me wrong. I don't play those games, but I'm just being objective.
I'm 40 years old. I don't want none of y'all in my house. I'm gonna be honest. We hook it up.
I'm gonna be honest.
Facts.
I'm gonna be honest. Most people don't use the couch co-op stuff.
I better see your vaccination card if we're gonna do a couch co-op. Let me see your vaccine card. You got both shots? Nah, you can't come in, man. You better.
Yeah.
I was just trying to throw them one bone. Like, hey, at least they still have that.
I would say Nintendo is the party console, right? Because that's one thing I've seen a lot of people on Switch. They do the little party thing. So I give them that.
Yeah, WarioWare, Just Dance.
Yeah,
but they have a ton of games.
That's not an excuse to be. They're not even up to par with iPhone.
Yeah.
with some of the gaming features
Not at all.
iPhone has.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's
the
crazy.
mere fact, right? Think about it, Puertorock. The mere fact that majority of those games that run on the Switch, right, don't even hit the 720p level. I mean, we're talking like you ever play Overwatch or something like that on the Switch, man. That shit is like 400p. It's
Oh my
chugging
God.
at like 22 frames, and this is consistent. This is not just one or two games. This is consistent shit.
Damn.
And that's
And they-
and I have Switches, right?
And they'll put the
That's the
screen?
downside.
Like what? They would have been better just in putting the hardware and actually run the game at 720p and get it to 60 frames consistently.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Some RAM, updated
Absolutely.
processor.
That actually would actually make the games look good. And not only would it benefit the handheld, but it will also benefit for those who dock the game. Actually give it the power to run the games. You know, it doesn't just to run the games and make it look better. Make it hit the resolutions and the frame rate to make the game a smooth experience, and it will benefit both the docked and handheld gamer.
Yeah.
They don't need to replace the screen. Like a 546p game on an OLED still looks like trash. Running at 20
Absolutely,
frames.
absolutely.
There's nothing a screen will do to make that game look better.
Oh, it
And
looks a
feel
little. It looks a little. It looks a little bit more colorful. I mean, that is not going to help at all. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Frame rate and a resolution bump. You don't even have to do textures on that. But a
Yeah.
resolution bump and lock 60, that will be a world of difference. A lock 1080p, 60 frames, a world of difference.
Yeah.
Because I
Nintendo
seen Breath of the Wild
is
on
lying.
TV, and I'm like, God, that shit looks ugly. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this thing looks like a first gen PS3 game. I'm like, oh
Yep.
my God.
Listen, there are some games on the Switch, man, make your eye bleed. I mean, it's just fucking horrible. How could it pass their QA? I have no idea.
Hey, it's the family
What's
console.
the
Like you
difference?
said, it's
They
the
don't
party
give a shit.
console.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now. Like a lot of games instead of actually running on the Switch, they have a few games that are now coming out on the cloud on the Switch.
Yeah, like Resident Evil is a cloud on the Switch. I don't know who's using it. I mean, I wouldn't buy that shit, but
Yeah, why are they even coming out with these games? Like, whose idea? I mean, obviously Bethesda's fucking money hungry, but it's like Skyrim on the Switch, really? Or just,
Yeah,
or
I
just
think the new Guardians of the Galaxy game is going to be a cloud game on the Switch.
like
Yeah,
why?
that game looks good, but I'm gonna buy that game.
Wait, what?
I'm buying that Guardians of the Galaxy game. I
Oh.
already told you this.
Oh, you said
Yeah.
it kind of weird. You're like, that game looks good, but I'm about to buy it.
That game looks good. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying, like, I'm
excited
I
for
won't-
it?
I'm not gonna play that shit. I'm not gonna play that shit on the Switch. I'm gonna play that shit on the fucking PS5.
There you go.
What the fuck?
Well, you know what? Let's move on. I think everyone got their shit out about the Switch. We all been got our demons out from the Switch. I want to move on to some funny shit. Some a little bit lighthearted, right? Now I was rolling when I saw this. I mean, and I heard Puertorock, you were talking about this on your show the other night. Whose fucking idea was it to do this? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll give them the creativity points. I'll give them the creativity points because I know this song. I know the original, and I swear.
exactly.
But why? Timing, message, like it was just funny to like watch. But it wasn't. If I was an Xbox fan, like you were saying, Puertorock, this doesn't do shit for me. This is like, wait, what?
But they loved it. That's the problem.
Look, Xbox is your
These
dad
guys were
at
out.
this point.
They loved it. And I don't want. I thought it was more cringy than anything, right?
It was very
But
cringy.
at this
these
point,
guys
Xbox-
loved it. Oh my god, that was so awesome. And I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, you haven't had a first party AAA game in a
Yo, Jaydub, I think we losing you a little
I
bit.
think we lost Dub.
Okay, we'll get him back.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. Like, it just proves what Xbox like. This is what I picture when I see Xbox. When I think of Xbox players, the guys who are in this commercial. This is what you look like. This is Xbox players. It's this guy, that guy, and this guy. This is the demographic of who plays Xbox. It's that age group right there.
I mean,
It's
the whole
that weight class.
the whole point of this commercial was to go kind of like viral, and it was mostly to cater to casual gamers. Like this wasn't for hardcore gamers. This is for casuals.
Look, Xbox is your dad's console. That's what this showed me. That's what this showed me, at least.
Yeah, this is
It's not even a Series S, and it's not even a Series X, bro. It's a Series S.
The what?
did
Like
this...
that's what got me. Come on, like they shit. Shorty got the Series S.
I mean, this is a commercial for the All Access, where you pay a monthly fee for the console and Game Pass.
Here's the thing, and I know some people say it's a lighthearted commercial, whatever. It's a joke, and I'm like, of course, it's Xbox fans doing it. I gave them a different scenario. I said, okay, I'm a Knicks fan, right? Obviously, the Knicks have been trash for decades. Okay,
y'all did great this year, though.
Yeah, we did pretty good, right? But even though, let's say we did a good, we actually had a great season this year because they weren't even expected to win 25 games, let alone make it to the playoffs. So they're improving. But despite improving, the last thing I want to see them is a commercial of them joking around, fucking off. Oh. No, your ass better be in the gym, playing yourselves until you win a chip. When you win a chip, then you can fuck off. But until you win that chip, you don't get to clown around. Why do you deserve to clown around? What did you do to clown around? You know, get your ass in the gym, do that for 100 shots like Kobe Bryant and Jordan did, and win the goddamn chip. Then you can fuck around and do these jokes and all that stuff. Microsoft's not in permission to do these jokes because their first party is a joke. Like, if your first party is considered a joke, then you got to be serious. You got to get your head in the game. You know what I'm saying? If you want to advertise All Access and all that shit, do it in a way where the people can look at you serious. Because really, the only people that found this really funny, whatever, are the people you already have. They're the Xbox and the Xbox fanboys. They're already on your platform. How are you going to convince me to get on your platform when your first party is trash and I see bullshit like this?
But it
makes me not want to buy your shit.
Here's my other thing, Puertorock. They couldn't get Boys to Men, dog. They couldn't get
they probably tried, and Boys to Men was like, hell nah. The hell we look like?
This commercial, bro. Y'all couldn't. Y'all got post up in this goddamn commercial.
Y'all got post up right
Shout
here.
Shout out to Post, but goddamn, they got him in this commercial.
Facts. Yeah, this is again, just reiterating off what Puertorock said. This is not the time for Xbox to be. I mean, I guess I understand what you were trying to say, $, trying to make a viral marketing thing, but this is not the way to do it. I mean, they could have done anything, man. They could have threw a freaking PlayStation off a skyscraper.
It's for the casuals.
But what casuals? And what age group? Like,
I don't think casuals would have. I think casuals would have understood more if like they actually got Boys to Men.
Yeah, I mean, not even. Just do something more like towards your audience. Show like I'd rather if they showed me a commercial with it was just a super cut of like their upcoming games. Show me something that I can say, hey, at least I'll put my hat on. But yeah, you're gonna show this fucking the Series S, man. It was a funny commercial. Honestly, like again, we went through it. It probably wasn't the best timing to do. I don't think this is gonna push the Series S units or be a conversation more than this week that we're talking about it. But yeah.
I mean,
wait, you mean they're gonna be playing this in the club?
No, hell no. Xbox All Access Records, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Well, before we wind it up, I just wanted a quick thoughts. Jaydub, he's caught in a storm right now, so I don't know if he'll be able to join us for the end. But if you can't, shout out to you, Jaydub. It's been great having you on. Or we'll catch you back in here in a second. I just want to quickly go over these two games, and then we can wrap up the show. First of all, Assassin's Creed Infinity. There was a lot of drama this week because the model, they're going to a live service model, which, got a lot of backlash. And I was actually kind of surprised because I was like, wait, they're not making this game to Destiny. It's probably going to be like, it's the Assassin's Creed single player game maybe with some multiplayer, but primarily single player, and it's going to be something they update over time, and just kind of build onto that framework. I'm not a fan of gas games as a service, but when in the right context, like Destiny, as flawed as it was, it worked for that situation. So, real quick, what were y'all thoughts on this? Do you guys care? Do you think everyone's blowing it out of proportion, or do you think this is honestly concerning?
I don't care about this. Man. You know what I
It's
care
Ubisoft.
about right now? I care about all I care about right now is watching this Resident Evil Infinite Darkness on Netflix. That's all I care about right now. That's it. That series is about to look dope. That CGI looks amazing. It's featuring Leon. It's about zombies.
What is that? So you don't care about this at all?
Fuck no. Hell no.
Okay.
I lost track now because my man brought up Netflix. I'm like, wait, what's the topic?
Yeah, I was like, what? What does it have to do with Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how little I care about this. That's how little I care about this. I don't care.
Okay, so Puertorock, what do you think about this, man?
About what? Because I'm lost now.
Oh, Assassin's Creed Infinity, the whole thing with them moving to live service.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Like I don't understand what they're gonna. What are they trying to do? Like, come on, man! It's a single player game. Like I got it. I mean, bad enough. It's like an annual rehash, but they did a decent job to try to make it interesting. But now a live service, like, what are they trying to do? Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. Like,
we got Jaydub back in here.
I personally don't know. Like, what is it supposed to be? Like, it's not like Assassin's Creed is known for multiplayer.
Exactly.
Nobody really cares about that.
They tried, didn't they? They tried with Unity, right?
So yeah. So I'm like, so it's not that. It's a single player game. That's all it is.
This is the problem that gamers are going to have with this industry. Once one person becomes successful with something, everyone wants to flock and try to go in that direction. Yep. And that's a problem, because just because that worked with one game or two games doesn't mean this is where gamers want to eventually go. I hate when people try to say, well, this is the way the industry is going anyway. It's like, no, that's not necessarily the case, right? I've seen, right, I've grew up with the original NES with the Atari 2600, and I've seen Nintendo outlast majority of its competitors. More powerful, more, they tried newer things. They've outlasted all of those only because of one simple thing. They keep games very basic. Gaming has always been a very basic thing. And only into modern times will people try, these companies are trying to monetize it in various fashions and chase this guy over here because he did this and it's successful. Now they want to change their whole lineup of games and try that. And when that shit fails, and I think it will, then they try to come back and try to get goodwill from gamers. I hate to say it, but all of this new stuff that's changing in gaming, and these companies are trying to change their business models to gain more money. I'm from the old school. You make a good game, people will buy it. Simple.
Facts. You
make a trashy game and you try to monetize it in so many ways and stuff. Eventually, that's kind of what almost killed the gaming industry back in the late 70s and early 80s. That's, you get flooded with a bunch of trash, a bunch of stuff, and gamers just get turned off on it and they just move the other way. They're gonna eventually go back to Nintendo, or if PlayStation and Microsoft tries to force all of this stuff.
Yes, Nintendo's not going nowhere.
Bad thing. Nintendo ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
listen, I'll tell you this: Nintendo will outlast anybody to the end of time.
That reminds me a lot of like mobile gaming, right? Because like when I first got my cell phone, there was like Fruit Ninja, Angry Birds, Doodle Jump, and they were all like really fun to play. And then out of nowhere, there's like all these like freemium games, or the game is free, and then there's like ads everywhere. It's like, man, I hate playing games on my phone now, and now like I never play cell phone games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the big issue that I have with Phil Spencer, and he's talking about these 2 billion gamers or 3 billion gamers, and I'm like, dude, you cannot take mobile gamers and lump them in with console gamers or lump them in with PC gamers. Two totally different crowds, two totally different markets. Go start your own side subsidies that make games tailored to those cell phones and those mobile people if that's what you want to do. But when you're trying to combine this stuff, that's a recipe for disaster. Because what's going to happen is, think about it. All the mobile games are really what? A lot of them are watered down console gaming. They got Call of Duty Mobile, right? They got all this other stuff that's there.
And pay to win.
And pay to win. You're sitting here selling the gamers on the future of 4K and all of these frames per second and this high resolution stuff, and then you're going to try to water down a game, and eventually it's not that you're porting down from the high end, console down to mobile, but they're just going to start taking the mobile stuff and just porting it over to the high end because it's cheaper. Like, I don't want that. I don't want my games watered down. I don't just make a good game and leave me alone. I'll give you my $60, my $70, and that's the thing about it. When we're talking about this whole, how much you're paying for games, $70, is that good or bad? Listen, gamers will pay no matter what you charge them if the game is good. If they see value in it, they will pay.
People forgot video game prices back during the
$79 for the SNES.
Yep,
and back in, people forgot that because
people forgot.
A lot of the gamers now are newer gamers, right? A lot of them came during the 360 era. Mm-hmm. They went, or the GameCube era. They didn't come from the old school era that we remember back in the day. See, that's why.
Now they over here bitching about some upgrade fee.
A $10 fucking upgrade. It's like, we talking about $10 DLC. Come on, what are we doing?
What is we doing?
What are we doing here?
I was gonna bring up as just like the final topic, Red Dead Blood Money, but I just found out about it before the show. I actually saw it today for the first time. Have any of you guys seen this before?
Nope, don't care about it.
Okay,
no,
I'm playing
more Red Dead online content. That's a pass.
Yeah, Red Dead.
Okay,
I'm not touching. I didn't touch nothing online.
I'll go back to Grand Theft Auto before I go to Red Dead.
I played. All I did with Red Dead was just play the single player, beat it, and I was just impressed with that.
I couldn't
game.
make it past Act 7, man, to be honest. I let my friend borrow it and just forgot about it. All right, well, hey, I'm giving everyone a free trailer for Red Dead Blood Money. That game was just fucking bland to me. I don't know what it was. I could not get into it. It was just too slow paced. The animations were very slow. I mean, don't get me wrong. As a cowboy simulator, ain't nothing touching it at all.
Yeah.
But the first one resonated way more with me. It was just more simple to the point. Even just like
John Marston.
Yeah, exactly. And John Marston, and I felt like just transversing throughout the map in this game was just hell. So I kind of gave it up. But yeah, we're a little bit after time. But yo, this has been a fucking amazing show. As always, Puertorock, is great having you on. Jaydub, first time, but amazing show, man. Glad to have your opinions on. You're very articulate, and hey, that's what the Insomniacs podcast is about. We're all gamers here. We know our shit. We just like to indulge in the hobby that all the viewers enjoy, and just getting into the topics and stuff. So yeah, it was a dope ass show.
Shout out all our new subs. Shout out all our new subs. We appreciate y'all, man. Honestly, it's really cool for everyone tuning in and enjoying the show.
Definitely, guys, hit that like button.
No doubt, man.
Yeah,
support minority creators, yo. Support.
Hell
us.
yeah, man.
Facts.
Yeah, man. It's an all minority podcast.
I don't know. You might get one of these Trump build that wall supporters. So
yeah,
I'm just saying they're about to get y'all.
Hey, give me your money, bro. Give me your money. I'll take it. Shit. I'll take it. Shit.
Also, what's going on, my friends, family, fellow gamers, man? You can catch myself at times, Jaydub and the crew, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 60 Frames No Lag podcast. We chop it up and we do our thing. You know what I'm saying? We do nothing but the hits. Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the motherfucking hits.
Listen, you guys know you can find me on Twitter. Just find your local nearest Xbox dude. He's going to be the guy screaming and yelling, and just figure out what he's screaming about. It's probably me. Yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on YouTube at Jaydub for you. You can find me again, 60 frames, no lag with Puertorock on on Tuesdays. Sometime we'll move it depending on what's going on or whatever. You can also find me on the Next Gen 720 channel. We do a bunch of shows and stuff over there. So yeah,
Yeah, shout out
yeah,
next man. Shout out Z.
yeah, man.
Oh, man. The stream is happening tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all can catch me. I will be dropping the code. If you guys get me to at least near 50. Right now I'm at 25 followers on Twitch, so I'm trying to get that 50. Hit me, follow me. You heard, and you guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at CoolHandCruz and on twitch.tv/CoolHandCruz and here every fucking Thursday on the Insomniacs podcast where you don't sleep. You heard?
Man, they can always find me in the streets, you know that, or in the sky. But lately, I've been playing a Plague Tale: Innocence, and that game is so much fun. I got the PS5 upgrade for free because the July PlayStation Plus game, and I've really been enjoying it. I highly recommend it. If you have a PS5, get that game for free. It's fun.
Don't sleep.